$750,000 just by making
Recording in progress.
making the tournament.
Yeah.
Not making the tournament, but like getting to the finals and the semis. You get
Yeah, there's cash
so
prizes and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. So Jalen Brunson was like, "Hey, we're just doing it for the guys on the two-way deals. Who this will be bigger. This will be bigger than their entire yearly
Yeah,
check."
yeah, yeah.
So
But I
and
mean,
then
it's cool of him to say that.
yeah. And Josh Hart was like, "Well, I saw this new AP watch that I want to get this for $750,000."
Nice.
Um, yeah. So
Yeah.
I told you we got tickets to go
Mm-hmm.
to the Knicks versus Spurs game, and I am probably going to try to get my kids to get their autographed jersey because I don't want to be that adult that gets like, oh, sign my jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I can get my kids to wear the jerseys and we get there early enough during shoot around,
Why is that jersey so large on you, young man?
it'll be their
I'm
jersey,
gonna grow
but
into it, sir.
they'll never. They'll never get to wear it again. The minute it's signed, they'll never. I'm
Yeah,
never letting them wear it again.
yeah. You got to bring like a Ziploc bag with you, so as soon as they sign it, you take it off, fold it up nicely, put it in the Ziploc bag, suck all the air out, finish up the zip,
And,
and then go get
I'm
it
gonna
framed. Yeah.
get one of them wearing the Josh Hart jersey and one wearing the Jalen Brunson
Yep.
because they got their podcast.
Well, you can go find something for Thibodeau to sign too.
He needs this. My wife. Every time my wife sees Tom Thibodeau, she goes, "Why does he just cut all his hair off?
I
Why? Why is he
that's
trying to
been
perform
the
magic
question for
with
a
that
long time because he's got the tuft up front, he's got
But
waistland, and then hair, and then the bald spot. He's got like 3 zones of balding.
it's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough. Like that hair that combs from here to here is about this long.
Oh, he gets out of the shower, goes down to his waist.
Yeah, my wife goes, "What is he doing?" Every time she
Yep.
sees him, I'm like, he can't get rid of it. He needs to, and he's past the point of no return. Like nowadays, people are going to Turkey, right,
Mm-hmm.
to get hair transplant. But in order to get a hair transplant, then you have to have a donor area to get the hair from.
Yeah.
So they take it from the back and they move it to the front. He doesn't have anything. Like you said, there's a lot of zones of,
Yes.
of
A
emptiness.
lot of empty zones. Yeah. He needs to hire the gorilla to come and just rip all of his hair off.
Oh no.
My hair. Where's my real hair?
Oh no, it's rough for him.
It
It's
is.
rough, but he needs to just get rid of it.
Yeah.
He needs to just get rid of it. It's not good.
Yeah. I was originally gonna say a toupee to take it to sign for him, but then I was like, nah, maybe that's a little too esoteric. But no, he's very, very bald.
Yes.
You could get like a patella or a patellar
A
tendon.
patella tendon. He's like, "What's this? This is for what you did to
Yeah.
Rose." This is for
And as soon
what
as he
you
picks it
did.
up, it snaps in half, and you're like, oh, see,
Oh, that's
sign
exactly
it,
what you did to Rose.
sign it.
Oh man, did he do something to Rose? Like everyone wants to say that it was wear and tear. That's how he coaches, and he's never done it again to anyone else.
Yeah, but
Like that's just how he coaches. Is it some people don't like it? The stars play a lot of minutes in games they probably shouldn't be
he
playing in.
loved Luol Deng because Luol Deng would
Yes,
play 48 minutes and not say anything.
that's how he feels about Josh Hart.
Yeah,
Josh Hart will go to him and tell him, "I don't feel like I'm playing enough," and then he'll play him 45
yeah.
minutes the next night, and just like, "Oh, that's
He'll
all I
he'll,
need."
he'll intentionally force a tie somehow to play extra minutes. Yeah, like Luol Deng, that dude had to lead the league in minutes like every year that Thibodeau was his head coach, and when the Bulls weren't like giving him bad spinal taps and shit, because
And
like
oh man, that sucks.
yes, yeah, yeah,
Like it's rough, and like because Tom also has a short bench.
hmm
Like he may only play seven
he's got like
guys.
2 to 3 guys he likes.
He may only play 7 or 8 guys. If he has a team of people he likes, he will play them.
hmm
But if you're a question, he'll run those starting five to the ground.
Yeah.
He'll run them to the ground. Is it worse what he did to Rose or what Shanahan did to RG3 to bring it
Who?
back to football?
Because RG3 never had a career after that at all.
He played.
For a half
It
a
wasn't
season,
good.
yeah, it was bad.
He played for a while.
Mm,
Yeah, that was his
did
rookie
he?
year that the injury happened. He got an ACL. He wound up playing a few more years there, and then he wound up being like a backup in the league. He backed up, I think, Lamar. They had that backfield with all those Heisman Trophy winners. It was
All
him,
right, you're right.
RG3, Lamar, and Ingram, I think it was. Not was it Ingram? What's his name?
I don't know.
Played for Alabama, running back.
Oh, one
What
of
is
them.
it? What is it? I keep
They
saying, I think it was
played 3 years
Ingram.
in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Rookie year was the year they got hurt.
Yep,
Right.
that was the year he ruined him.
That was 2012. He didn't play at all in 2015.
Could that was a late play. That was a playoff game. He had that thing happen to him in.
Yeah. 2016, he played for Cleveland. Then he didn't play at all in 2017. Now, he was a
Mm-hmm.
starter in Cleveland, started 5 games. Played 5 games, started 5 games. I'm guessing he got hurt.
Yep.
Then he came back in 2018 and played 3 years with Baltimore. He threw a total of 33 passes over those 3 years.
Oof.
1 touchdown, 4 picks.
Mm.
Man, he
Dang.
was so good that rookie year too.
Scared me,
Yeah,
scared me.
yeah.
Like I see Jaden Daniels, I'm not as fearful, even though he's very
Well, because
good
you almost
and
expect him to break.
the way he keeps playing,
Yeah.
it needs to play. Oh man, I have a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about. Less about our teams,
Oh,
right? But
nothing
we,
happened with the Bears in the last week.
oh yeah, the Bears. We don't.
Well,
So
let's
what's?
talk about Jane Daniels. You have Jane Daniels thoughts. That's fine. I don't care. We don't have to get the Bears and
Oh
Giants here.
no, was it Jaden Daniels
Or
thoughts?
was it Emmanuel Forbes?
No, it has a lot to do with the because what it made me think about is Jaden Daniels doesn't know he holds the ball way too long.
Mm-hmm.
Like the play's over, he'd wait to the last minute to throw the ball away,
Mm-hmm.
to do anything. That is dangerous for a quarterback.
Yeah.
And that led me to legit Lawrence.
Did you call him legit Lawrence?
I know I just said Lawrence. I forgot.
I think you said legit
Not
Lawrence.
legit. Definitely not legit.
That
But
dude, yeah. He got
that hit, like,
he
so everyone's talking about the hit being dirty.
yeah.
I will say what did most of the damage was the turf. Like he didn't lead with his head.
It
He
wasn't the
didn't
bullet
lead
that
with
killed
his.
him. It was all the blood loss.
I mean, he didn't lead with his head.
No.
He didn't actually hit him with his shoulder. He didn't even tackle him. He kind of just pushed him down,
It was
and it was a
yeah.
forceful push.
And he had an elbow to the face there on Lawrence.
Yeah, it was definitely high. It was
Yeah.
high, but like I
And
heard
late.
Mark Schleff saying, like he made the decision to go after him before he actually dove. It's and that Mark Shelf was not happy with it, and he was like, he said at that it was a design run play.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like it was a quarterback play. If this was a running back, like you run outside the pocket on a bootleg, like you're a running back.
Back's not going to slide though. I mean, there's the
But
rules that are in place.
we've also seen the fake slide.
Yeah,
We've
I
also
agree with
seen
that, but
like what am I to
I've
do?
only seen one person do the fake slide.
Mahomes,
Mahomes. Yes.
Mahomes.
And Mahomes will run on the sideline, and everybody's afraid to go near him because
Mhm.
at any moment he's going to have his pinky toe out of bounds, and they're going to hit. Right? They don't want to do anything. Right?
Uh-huh.
Trevor Lawrence got killed, man. He got
He got
killed.
absolutely creamed.
He got killed. The hit was very late.
It was late.
It wasn't. And people are like, "Oh, it's a late slide." No, because Lawrence ended up being short of the first down. So it's not like he was trying to stretch it out. He just went down like he's supposed to, and he got killed. Now, Aziz Al-Jir, whatever his name is, I can't remember what his last name is. was suspended today for 3 games.
3 games. I thought like at first I was like 3 games sounds a lot, but I think in hits like that, you can't come back until he comes back.
Oh, I'd almost agree with that. Yeah.
I like I can't. You wanted to do something that's going to prevent people from doing those hits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
2 games, not like who knows how long
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is out, right?
Yeah.
Like that would say, Mike, your suspension is conditional on his return.
So the reason he had 3 games is because he's been fined several times this year.
Yes.
He he was part of the fight afterwards. He would not leave the field, and then he started another fight in the process.
Yes. Yes.
So this is the same dude in week 2 that, remember when the Texans and the Bears were fighting on the sidelines, threw that punch at Roshan Johnson, who was just standing there.
They never got caught. Yes.
He's just like, what's going on, guys? Punch, right? Like, so same dude. So like,
there was
I know they're like
history.
They're complaining like, oh, now people are thinking he's a bad guy and a dirty player. He is a bit of a dirty player. He's an aggressive player.
Aggressive,
which leads to some dirty hits and some dirty plays. Which okay, but he's a good guy. Great. He can be the greatest guy on the field, but when you're on the field, you got to.
When you're on the field, you got to temper that down.
You can beat the absolute hell out of each other for 60 minutes within the rules.
Mm-hmm.
You stay in the rules. You can hit a guy as hard as you want as long as it's within the rules.
Yeah. When I saw the hit, I was like, "Ooh, his head bounced off that turf."
Oh.
But
and then he did the fencing pose.
Then he did the fencing pose, which at this point in time needs to bring up an automatic sensor on.
Yes, they should just cut it.
Like
it should be like visual AI detection. As soon as it's seen, cut away to Al Michaels.
None of us is watching it. None of us is really watching it live. And if we are watching it live, why?
Why are you watching the Jets game?
If we were all on a 3-second delay, we wouldn't know.
Yeah, no one would know.
You know what I'm saying? If we were all on a 3-second delay, the live broadcast was on 3-second delay, we'd never know. That's perfect time to display fencing. Got
yep.
Put a big sensor bar over it.
Yep. I know I'm always at least 10 to 15 seconds behind because I'm watching I'm watching either the NFL stream or whatever, and I'll get the notification on my phone that touchdowns have happened, and I'm like, you're spoiling it. You're spoiling it.
I hate it.
Someone's in the red zone. I'm like, let me watch the game. But we were in the car, and I was listening because I have the NFL Plus app, so I can listen to it. I don't pay the big bucks for the NFL Premium. But I pay $5 a month, and then I get all the radio broadcasts. I can choose the home and away, so I was listening to those. And I'm like, well, I was having trouble getting the Steelers and the Bengals to come on. I'm like, well, I'm gonna switch over to the Jags and Texans, see what's going on. And I'm not kidding. Within a minute is when Lawrence got. That's the only part of the game I caught. I'm like, well, I'll turn this off now.
Yeah,
my work here is done.
Mac Jones had to come in, and it wasn't too good.
Well, he still got a touchdown.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's not good, but he's worse than Trevor Lawrence.
He is.
I thought you wanted to talk about one more hit too, talking about getting hits and hitting hard legally on the field. Cooper DeJean, laying out Derrick Henry. That don't happen very often.
No, he picked him up and pile drive to drove him into
off the ground.
Yeah,
he was hit hard. And Derrick Henry I don't know if Derrick Henry's ever been hit that hard by one little dude ever. And that's DB. And that was like a point of conversation. Would you rather be a defensive back taking on Derrick Henry, or a defensive lineman trying to bring down Lamar Jackson? Which one would you rather do?
Lamar isn't gonna stiff arm me to the ground and then make me bounce into the turf. Like Lamar might make me look stupid. Yeah. He might make me look stupid.
There's no might.
There's a highlight reel of DBs getting bounced like dribbled like a basketball because of a stiff arm from Derrick Henry. Yeah, I don't want to be that guy.
Derrick Henry might end a career, you know.
There was Ryan Clark said, if me and Derrick Henry met in the A gap. Derrick Henry's going down, and Derrick was like, "Huh? What?" And everyone else was like, "What are you talking about? I don't think that's gonna happen." Clark, you are out.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't want to mess with him.
Mm,
All right.
no.
Before we talk about our teams, still,
Uh-huh.
did you watch any of the Bills game? Bills
Is that
49ers in the snow.
no, no, in the snow? No,
Josh Allen. The only reason I'm bringing it up because he's the first quarterback to
I
ever
saw the play.
throw a pass, throw a touchdown, catch a touchdown, and run for a touchdown in a game. And he's only like one of four people to ever throw and catch a touchdown on the same play.
Uh-huh. I thought I remember Lamar doing it once
Well,
of a batted ball.
Lamar had that play where he picked it off in the playoffs last year and ran it for 20 yards, but he wasn't close enough to the end
It
zone.
wasn't for okay. I could have sworn I thought I saw him do it.
Lamar's
But
done just about everything else. So
the play was weird because it counts as a reception, right?
no,
But it was a
no,
backwards pass. It was a
it
lateral,
doesn't count as a
right?
reception. It counts as a
It just
receiving
counts as a
touchdown.
receiving touchdown.
So
Okay.
Amari Cooper got the reception for like 1 yard,
Yep.
and
Was
then-
getting held up.
and then Josh Allen got seven receiving yards and a receiving touchdown on the play. And he also got the passing touchdown on the same
The
play.
passing touchdown, yes. 10 points on one play or something like
For
that.
fantasy, yeah,
Is
yeah.
what they said. It was the most on a play that like inside the 20 ever. Like
Yeah.
for one particular.
It was wild. It was a wild game. The 49ers were tremendously outclassed in that game. Like they didn't know what they were doing.
Going to the West Coast. I mean, coming from the West Coast to the East Coast and then playing in that snow, and then your boy C-Mac basically being done for
Yeah,
the year.
he's out, and so is Mason too. Both
Yep.
their 1 and 2 running backs are done for the season.
Yes.
Bosa's still out.
Mhm.
Trent Williams has been out still, and
Yep.
I don't know.
Kittles is not looking good. He's okay. He's
Yeah,
Kittles.
he's fine, right?
Yeah.
No Ayuk. Debo's having a tough time. They got him returning kicks, right?
That's what they do with Debo. They put him all
Gotta
over the
use him
place.
somehow. They're paying him a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
49ers are done, which is
Pretty much.
I don't know if there's pretty much about it. I think they're done. They've already lost to the Seahawks and the Cardinals, so they got to jump 2 guys.
Hmm.
I just don't see it happening. I think the Bears beat them this week. So that's what we got to talk about.
Oh my God, are we playing teams that might actually be winnable games for us?
We
The
could.
Giants play the Saints.
That's a winnable game.
The Giants play the Saints.
That's a winnable game.
Oh man,
All right. So you weren't here last week.
I was not here last week.
So we didn't get a chance to talk about the Bears blowing it to the Vikings in overtime. Coming back.
No.
Bears can't get anything going on in the first half of any game, it seems like, and then they storm back. And the Vikings game, I was like, well, my wife bought movie tickets for $3.15, and the game was a noon game, right? So I'm not gonna do this. I'm like, well, it don't matter. They're down like 3 scores with 3 minutes left, and then they tied up the game. I'm sitting there watching it on my phone. I'm like, you kidding me? I'm missing this game? Oh my God! And then they lost. I'm like, well, okay, well that makes sense. And then I watched the highlights. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! They're the worst. Eberflus needs to be fired. And you weren't here last week, so I went down there. I released an episode of just our picks and me talking about how Eberflus needs to be fired.
That Sunday, the Giants got absolutely destroyed
Yes, they did.
by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes, they did.
Um,
That's also the same Sunday where Saquon Barkley
I was there.
had 300 yards of offense himself.
I was at the game.
I know.
And yeah, it was
That's-
okay. Let's talk about LA being overpriced.
Okay.
All right, real quick. Real
Okay.
quick.
Sure, it's
So,
overpriced.
Sunday.
Uh-huh.
We're on the West Coast and it's the Sunday night game, right? So we're like, okay, we're gonna go someplace and we're gonna watch football all day until our game starts. Oh, there is a sports bar walking distance from the stadium called Cos.
That's going to be overpriced no matter what.
It's called like Cosmo or something like that. COSM is what it's called. And we're like, okay, we'll go to see what it's at. It's one of those places that has that room that has a giant, you're in the
Oh, it has
action.
that giant wraparound roof
What?
from the end zone.
Yes, right. So that's cool, but that costs a lot more money to get into, right? So we get there early, so the early games, because we're trying to do early and we're gonna stay late,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like we would normally do at a Buffalo Wild Wings
Mm-hmm.
or a
Devaney's.
normal sports bar. Exactly, a Devaney's, a normal sports bar. So we get there and they're like, okay, we think it's just like, okay, we're gonna buy food and they're like, oh, it's a cover, it's a $25 cover. We
Okay.
go, okay, it was like we don't want to see the big dome. We're okay with that. They're like, oh no, that's a 30 some dollar fee. That's higher. That's more money to sit in that area. So we're like, all right, we're here. It's vacation. We're having a good time. We're spending money kind of foolishly.
Mm-hmm.
And we all got to pay for ourselves. It's not like I got my family there.
Yep.
So it's only, I'm like, all right, I could do that. So we paid the $25 and I don't think anything of it. My ticket says, um, that day it was the game of the week on Fox was Washington Commanders versus the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
My tickets say Washington Commanders. I'm like, okay, I'm not thinking anything of it. So we're good. So we go there, we sit down in the area. They've got screens everywhere, big screens, and we're looking, and it's great. And then the games are getting ready to end, and the lady's coming up was like, all right, do you guys got tickets to the next game? We said, what? He's like, yeah. Yeah, in order to stay here and watch football, you have to pay another $25
What?
to see the next game. And we're sitting down chilling. So at this point in time, we look outside. The line is around the corner for people trying to see the next game because the next game is the San Francisco 49ers versus, I don't, was it Oakland? I don't know who, but at that point in time, there was the Niners fans was out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was packed. But I just couldn't believe, first of all, the food was overpriced.
Yes.
The
Oh,
we had
that
to
was
we didn't have to
49ers
pay.
Packers, I think.
Yeah, 49ers Packers place was absolutely packed. But the line was wrapped around the corner. And I'm like, did all those people pay $25 to get in? Because when we first went, it wasn't that many people.
Yeah.
It was a nice sized group of people. But like I said, it's 10 o'clock in the morning their time.
Yeah.
We're used to being up at 10 o'clock in the morning watching games because it's 12 o'clock
Yes.
our time. So, but yeah, it was $50 just to watch the games in that place. And you have to leave when the game of the week is over.
Wild.
So I'm like, but wait, what if my team, because I would go there to watch the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
What if the Giants are still playing while the other teams finish fast? They're hurting me out
Yeah.
because my game's not the game of the week. But I'm there to see the Giants play. I don't really care about anyone else. That's just a bonus. But yeah, I didn't like that at all.
No.
Didn't like that at all. But that was what we did before. We wound up going back to our hotel right after the game because now there's a whole group of games that we can't see
Yeah.
because there's no place to watch them. So we wound up going back to the hotel and watching a few more games before we went back to SoFi to watch Saquon Barkley all-purpose 300 yards.
Yeah. And 250 on the ground. 255 on the ground. It
Like
was
230.
something.
It was
gross.
something.
It was something gross.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be that way. It didn't have to be that way. He could have just not ran that last touchdown. Like there was no need except just to rack up the
But
points
he wasn't
and
touched.
kill me in
What do
fantasy
you mean
football.
there's no need? They opened. It was like the parting of the Red Sea. He just tried his way down there. They didn't
But
touch him one bit.
But I've seen players stop at the 1 yard line. He could have done that, and I would have won in fantasy football.
Well, why would he do that?
So I can win in
That's
fantasy
just for you to win in
football.
fantasy football. Yeah, well, that's all right. Boy, oh boy, he had two 70-yard runs, and that's insane. 255 and 2,
Yeah, it's
and
what
4
they
receptions for 47 yards. What a game!
it's really what they're going to do. It's like they're just going to hand him the ball, and they should.
Mm-hmm.
He should. And this is what I said his whole time was the Giants, but the Giants didn't have the offensive line to do anything that the Eagles are doing. But I used to say Saquon needs to touch the ball at least 20, 25 times, 20 rushes, and at least 5 times out the back. He needs to get the ball.
Yep.
And we didn't do that because we couldn't. But even then with the Giants, it was Give him the ball 10 times, he's going to be 2 yards a carry for 10 times. Now, with the Eagles, he's not 2 yards a carry. Those 10 rushes, 3.5, 4 yards a carry. But he's still going to break one for 30 yards after his 10th carry.
And if it's close enough to the end zone, he's getting in.
It's he's getting it. He's getting it.
Yeah.
So but yeah, that was interesting to watch. The Eagles absolutely destroy. And I don't want to say this because my friend doesn't listen anyway. Who's an Eagles fan? Eagles fans travel.
Yeah. I was
That
watching it on TV. I
stadium
was like, it's loud.
sounded like a home game.
I don't think the Rams have home games. I mean, they're home, but I don't think
Uh-huh.
because the Rams played the Steelers, I think at one point too, and it was like a Steelers game, or maybe it was the San Diego Chargers and Steelers or whatever. Like nobody goes to that game for the home team.
Well, what's funny is, like I said, we were there 2 days in a row.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the Sunday night game and we saw the Monday night game
Yeah.
with the Chargers and the Ravens.
Yes.
The Ravens, it sounded like a home game for the Chargers.
Oh, really?
Like it sounded like a home game for the Chargers. Like it was night and day. Like the day before that, the Eagles fans green
Wow.
everywhere. Everywhere. And this is not the first time we've seen the Eagles play. Those fans travel.
Do they
They
travel
or
or are they
I
just all over the place?
well, we are in a hotel
Mm-hmm.
and all the jerseys in the hotel are Eagles fans.
Mm.
Like so they came from someplace. They could be in California someplace
Yeah.
and not near to the stadium. But yeah, that's all we kept seeing when we was through the city. And because my friends like, go birds. I'm like, oh good God. And they were literally
Yeah.
everywhere. They travel. Um
That's nuts.
but yeah, we missed that weekend. I really didn't want to talk. The Giants did not play well in that game against the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield always has his way with us.
Mm-hmm.
He just usually plays well when he plays against the Giants. So I kind of knew that was going to happen. And what did I think? Oh, that was Tommy DeVito played, and then he got injured and couldn't play the Thursday
And
night
then Drew
game.
Lock.
I guess that leads us to the Thursday night game, which I didn't have high hopes for the Giants. Didn't have high hopes. But one of the worst things could happen. Dexter Lawrence is out for the season.
Yes.
Theo Johnson is out for the season. It's like, oh, okay, all right, guys. We're just everyone's
So
gonna
like the
be
worst
out.
thing that could happen to your team internally, minus like neighbors losing a leg or something like that, is
Hmm.
all your guys get hurt, which is terrible. Your offensive line is banged up, terrible. You don't
Yes.
have a starting quarterback, which is terrible,
No.
right? And then to add insult to injury, there's three former Giants players that are just tearing it up. Because what's his
Three.
uh,
Julian Love in
no,
Seattle.
what's his name on Seattle? Yeah, the defensive lineman.
Julian Love. Oh, Leonard.
Yes, Leonard Williams.
Oh,
Is
okay.
it Williams?
Lenny Williams. He had a pick six.
He, not
He had a pick
whoa,
six. His
not
first
just a pick six,
interception.
a
It was a 91 yard. 92.
six. There's nobody, and then afterwards he's like, I've never run that far in my life. 92 yards. It's like, man, oh
Yeah.
man. So like,
He was a cap cut. He was costing the Giants a lot,
I
and
understand.
for us to re-sign, I'm not worried about that one. Julian Love is also on that Seattle team, who was another one of those players that we drafted,
Mhm.
didn't re-sign, and became a Pro Bowler. So
There's
he's on that team.
between Barkley and McKinney and Leonard Williams and Love, all those guys, former Giants that have been let go.
Three of those were Giants draft picks. Leonard was a Jets draft pick,
Yeah,
but
and I think he was traded last year. I think they traded him last year to the Seahawks in the
the Giants
Yeah.
2 years
2
ago. I
years
think it
ago.
was 2 years.
Either way,
Mhm.
but watching former guys flourish elsewhere is
It kind of stinks.
mm,
It kind of stinks.
I know it does stink. It stinks terribly. I know what it's like, but at least the Bears don't have that many good players out there floating around.
Yeah, no, it was tough watching them, but you know what? Like I said, they're all both doing better than they would have done in house.
Oh
Like
yes,
even because I saw something that said the Giants have a top five defense with their players, the defensive players on their team.
hmm
They have young players in Tracy Neighbors and Theo Johnson, along with some good defensive backcourt.
hmm
The one position that they're missing is the quarterback position.
yeah,
So you throw whatever you want on that team. You put Saquon Barkley on that back on that team.
for sure,
You throw Xavier McKinney
for
back on that
sure,
team.
for sure.
We still may only have one or two more extra wins on our
But you don't watch Barkley have
but we don't watch
1,500
it.
yards,
It's
125 a game, and 6 a carry.
it's mental
Yes,
because there's not a fan, and I hear people say, "Oh man, the Giants for sure love those 300 yards." We wouldn't have had it.
wouldn't have it.
We had him for 5 years, and he never came close to a game like that. He had a good season.
Yeah.
He had a good seasons, but that's ridiculous.
Yes,
So
he's already got the most rushing yards he's ever had in a season.
yes,
He,
with like 5 games
and
left to go in the
he
game.
did that after the 255 yarder, right?
hmm
He's already at 70. He's already at the second most scrimmage yards. He's at 1766 with 5 games to go.
Yeah, his rookie year he had
2028.
21 or 20. Yeah,
He's already tied the most touchdowns he's ever had with 11.
and that's going to only get higher.
Yes, I mean it's like
Oh no, he's having a
it is.
career
It's
year.
insane the quality of year he's having, and
And they don't have Kelsey as the center.
no,
If they'd had Kelsey, he might be at 3,000 yards.
just rushing.
Just
35, 50.
like
He's like a Madden season.
I'm just saying their offensive line is actually worse than it was last year.
Mhm.
so that says a lot.
It does, but I think, and I want to get your opinion on it because
Uh-huh.
I have been on the you don't fight, you can't fire Dable and Shane. They had they had 3 years. They inherited Daniel Jones. They made the
hmm
wrong decision with Daniel Jones, but I get why they did it and all that stuff. You can't fire.
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the I think they're gone after the season boat right now.
I I can't say that because if now the only thing is that I don't know if Dayball has lost the locker room.
Yeah.
If as a head coach you have lost the locker room, then and what happens is losing sucks,
Yes.
right? Losing sucks, and those people don't those the players don't like to lose. But I still, even though Neighbors is doing rookie stuff, I still don't hear it coming out of the locker room like they don't have faith in the person leading them.
Yes.
That to me is a coach because I've seen him X and O's. I've seen him put the
Mhm.
put the right play in and make the right moves, and the players not execute. Now, if the players were revolting, I'd say Dayball should be fired, but I don't hear
Well,
that
not
from them.
so. I'm not so much on the Dayball getting fired. I think Shane
I
gets
know,
fired,
yeah.
and then I think if the new GM comes in and wants their own guy, then Dayball's fired. That like they won't fire Dayball, they'll fire Shane.
Uh-huh.
And all I can picture is just that Hard Knocks Joe Shane with that shit-eating grin on his face after Mara's like, it'll just kill me if Saquon goes to the Eagles. And then they cut to Shane just like leaning back with that shit-eating grin. He was so smug, and he was the smartest guy in the room. And yet we're all right? Like there's no way Barkley has the season he's having on the Giants. But like we said, we don't have Saquon.
We don't have
We
that.
don't.
We don't have to look at
Yeah,
that.
Mara's like,
Which, but you know, but to me, that is reason to keep him, right? It's part of the game.
Yeah.
It's part of the game.
Yeah.
The what makes it worse is that he was a free agent and he just went to a rival. If he'd have been in Green Bay, no one would care.
Yeah.
They'd care, but it wouldn't be
it
to
wouldn't
this much.
sting
It's
as much. Yeah.
so it's not about the move itself. It's about how it
I
played
think it's
out.
all that's what I'm saying. I think it's all the other stuff. If Barkley would just went and had a really good season, like he's
Yes.
got a really good season. Like if
Now,
he were to stop
if
playing
the-
the last 5 games of the year, he would still be top 3 rusher,
Correct.
right? So
Yes.
that's part of the problem. And I think the optics of the Hard Knocks, and I think the Giants ownership, that prideful family, right? Like he's willing to take his lumps, and he even said it. It's like, when we knew we were gonna be tough, we made the big move to get Eli and all that stuff. Like it put us back. He understands how the game works. He
how the operations work. Oh,
he
he does.
understands that, and I just think that all of that combined, and the fact that it was shown to everybody on the face of the earth,
Mhm.
and then to have Barkley at the Eagles, possibly being the MVP of the season.
He probably will
Like
be.
like
At this
like
point, at this point in time, it would be hard. It'd be hard. Like I said, we all know it's a quarterback award, but if you're not giving it to Saquon Barkley, you're basically saying
it's a quarterback
it's
award.
a quarterback
Yeah,
award.
because if Barkley ends the season with over 2,000 yards, and especially if he breaks Eric Dickerson's record, right, which is like
Hmm.
2107, I think, which
Hmm.
he's on pace to do as it
Yes,
stands, right? If he does either of those two things, and
he
he
has
he
to
has
get the
been the
award.
legitimate reason, like so when they were like 6-2, and people were still like, I don't know about the Eagles. It's Barkley was the reason they had those 6 wins, right?
Yes,
And now that the defense has been playing lights out in their 8 game stretch. I think they're averaging like allowing 12 points a game or something like that, which is nuts. Vic Fangio's figured out these guys, and they're playing really good defense. Linebackers are playing
hmm
good. The pass defense is playing really good, and
that's what really helped them because they linebackers always pretty good, but they was giving up too much
yeah,
in the back end last
yep.
year.
And so now you got that, and now you got Barkley on top of it. It they aren't currently at 10-2 without Saquon Barkley.
No way, no how.
No way, no how. Now they might be.
They would have still had a good
They
running
might be
game.
like seven and
They
seven,
always have a
seven
good
and
running game.
7-5 maybe right now, but they're
The problem is Barkley is hiding the fact that Hurts isn't the player that he was those other
for
years.
those 12 games of that season.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's he's hiding that, and that's perfectly fine.
yeah.
That's perfectly
I mean,
fine. Let them let
complimentary football,
that's
right? Like you have a good running
complimentary
back,
football.
you got one of the best receivers in the game, and you got a really good mobile quarterback, right?
Hmm.
Still have a strong line, even though they're missing, guys retired, and now their defense is clicking, and like they're kind of scary. Like earlier on, we're like, I think they're fakes. Like I thought they were faking their way to that. I thought they were just riding Saquon. Now they're like a
Hmm.
legitimate team. It feels like
Yeah, defense, offense coming together.
yes,
Yeah.
and
See,
yeah,
the thing that should help Shane. The optics look bad on that,
mm-hmm.
right? But one of the things that the new school thing about, and this is I've heard you say, and I've heard everyone who talks about Saquon Barkley say the Giants shouldn't have picked him with number
Nope.
two because a running back is easily replaced. The production that you can get for a running
Yep.
back is
Agreed.
easily replaced. And this is exactly Shane's
Yeah.
thought process, not David Gettleman, who drafted
Yeah.
him, who said, no, this is a franchise player. This is the guy I stake my hat on. Shane said, no, we can get production. We can get the level of production
Agreed. 100%.
that Barkley was giving us in another position. And he did.
Yep.
He found a cheaper version of the production that Barkley gave the Giants. Now, for what it's worth, yes, that kind of stinks. I mean, that's more says to us than it does Barkley because the level he was capable of giving and what he was actually
yes.
giving.
The fact that Barkley was capable of this on a competent offense is insane bonkers. And then you have that damn TV show. There will never be another NFL team that lets anybody in there in the off season to do that. No one will ever do that again.
Yeah, that's probably so. That's probably
And
so.
if that didn't happen, everything else is just conjecture and rumors, right? Like
Mhm.
Barkley said they didn't offer him something. Oh, we offered him something. Blah blah. It all goes back and forth, right? Like it doesn't matter. No one knows, and no one knows any different, and it goes to the grave with people, right? Like you don't know. But man, that just
Yeah.
it was on TV today. I was watching, and they talked about it again. They showed that clip again of Joe Shane and that smug look on his face after Mara said, "He'd kill me if he went to the Eagles."
It would. It would definitely.
And maybe Joe Shane's hoping. Maybe it'll kill him. I'll inherit the team. I don't know. I don't know what's in his contract.
Yeah, team inheritance. I just think that for he made. We're saying the Daniel Jones thing was a mistake. It's a mistake. I think in hindsight, they tried everything that they could. They couldn't get it done. It was lead so. I don't look at it as a mistake. I think it didn't work out. It's a move that didn't work out.
It was
I
a
would,
mistake.
but even like, what were we gonna do? Go to the playoffs. You win the first round of the playoffs. What are you gonna do?
Let him go.
That would have been, and then get what?
Baker Mayfield. I said it then. I
Maybe.
said it then.
Like I said, I still don't know if that would have been
I
of
don't know.
the better.
It couldn't have been worse.
It couldn't have been.
No,
It could.
there's no way it could have been worse.
It could have been. Baker throws to who next that year? We forget that Baker did go to a Bucks team who
Yeah,
had Chris
yeah,
Godwin
for sure,
and
right?
Mike
Like
Evans.
all that stuff is
So
fine, right? But there's no way Baker Mayfield be worse than Daniel Jones on the Giants. There's just no way.
I think he could
No,
have.
I don't think there's any human that could have been worse. There's no NFL quarterback that could have been worse in that situation. He was just terrible.
With whom? With whom to throw the
I
ball to?
understand, but I'm just saying, right? Even on a
And he only played 6 games.
even on a shitty team, and then he played what 8 this year, and then was cut.
He
Right?
played 8 this year.
Right?
This
Like,
year, I'm not
there's
even talking about
nothing
this year.
that could
I'm not
have
even
been
talking about
worse
this year.
than what they got, right? Like they already got scraping bottom of the barrel. So even like a
There's always worse.
no,
There's
you didn't
always
dig through the barrel
worse.
to get worse. Like you're scraping.
I don't
bottom.
know if you had to dig that far.
Yes, you. Oh,
You could find players in the NFL that was worse than Daniel Jones. Will Levis is worse than Daniel Jones.
well, Levis has been pretty good last couple weeks.
The last,
Last
the
four,
last
four
couple
weeks.
of weeks.
But would you rather had a rookie Will Levis going out there taking his lumps and throwing the ball around than $40 million a year Daniel Jones?
40 million a year, Daniel Jones kind of does stink.
Yeah,
If you're,
I mean that
but
adds context to it.
Trevor Lawrence didn't play that good
Trevor
either.
Lawrence would have been better than Daniel Jones.
And he's 55. He's 55 million, and he
Not at the
does
time,
not
he
play. He
wasn't.
hasn't played. Yes, he
No,
was.
he wasn't. Trevor
Well,
Lawrence got his,
1 year
his-
later.
Trevor
1
Lawrence
year
still hasn't
later.
even kicked in his extension. It starts next year.
But he got it. But he got it last year.
Got it this year.
He got the contract with this year.
Between last year and this year, yeah. He got his extension.
It's there are quarterbacks that were worse. He did not play well. I get that.
Yeah.
The like I said, once again, the move was something I think that the Giants had to do.
Yeah.
There is a lot to go into the fact that, and I think we talked about it last time. A lot goes into the fact that Daboll rookie year took them to the championship, took them to the second round of the playoffs,
Yep.
and said they probably went to him and said, "Can we work
Oh
with
yeah,
what we
no,
have?"
I get all the
So the move-
circumstances.
So the move is not a bad move when you're looking at it when it happened. Now, of course, we are talking
Well,
about what did happen.
When it happened, I
and
told you
none
it was
of
a bad move. We just didn't have a podcast at the time.
It wasn't a bad move. It
It was
wasn't.
a bad move.
It was there was no other move to be made. Baker Mayfield, you looking at Baker Mayfield at the year that he had with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, except the fact that he was thrown around the league. He was on the Rams, then he was on the Carolina Panthers.
Carolina traded for him, and then I don't know what they did, and then they just let him go, and then he went to the Rams.
So, well, how is someone supposed to extrapolate that means
I'm
that
just saying,
Baker Mayfield would have been
You could
better?
have got former Heisman Trophy winner.
Who was almost on his way out of the NFL.
He was no.
He
You know,
he was on the Carolina
okay,
Panthers.
yeah.
That's
All right,
a
and so was
step
Sam
above being
Darnold
out
at the
the
same
NFL.
time, right?
Yes, they were.
So-
and you thought he was out the league too.
Yeah.
Until he wasn't.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's the thing. Until they're not, right? Like
until they're not.
So,
but you didn't predict that Sam Darnold was going to be Sam Darnold.
no, not Sam Darnold, but I thought Baker Mayfield would be
Second
fine.
pick in the draft.
I always thought
He was
I've always liked Baker
You're-
Mayfield,
you're
and
a fan
I
of
thought
Baker.
Mayfield
I'm not a
would be
fan of
fine.
Baker.
And I always thought the Browns did him dirty, and they did.
Browns might have done him dirty,
Right,
but I'm not a super fan of Baker. I wouldn't
you could
have
have had
wanted
Baker for the $2 million that Tampa Bay paid for him last year,
Yeah,
and seen where it goes, right? Like,
but we just had a quarterback take us to the second round of the
yeah,
playoffs.
it's Daniel Jones.
But see, now you're going off of things that you're going off of the things that happened.
It was it's Daniel Jones though.
Oh my
Like at the time, like
They were a playoff team.
I wish
were a
Slack didn't
team.
like expunge chat history because
I
I'd
know.
pull it up. So you got that going for you. Well, let's talk about what I have going for me. I've been saying it
We don't have to ask. Are they going to fire your coach?
because they did finally. Finally,
After one of the worst
12 games late. They should have
coaching
fired him in the
performances.
offseason, but they let him come back, and I get why, whatever, right? And you know me, I've been on. I wanted to fire Flus last year. Wanted to fire him in the
Uh-huh.
offseason. They kept him. I tried to figure out. I guess it'll see if it works. Been wanting to fire him since I don't even know when this year.
Since the beard has been growing out.
Yes,
Do you-
they finally let him go.
See,
That was,
it's that beard. Both Daniel Jones and Eberflus drew a beard in the offseason,
Eberflus,
and it got him
but they were
fired.
both bad last year with no facial hair.
Exactly. But the actual
The
beard
beard
is
is
what
what
was
got
the
it,
final
yeah.
straw. It's the final
I
straw.
think the beard bought Flus an extra 4 weeks.
It definitely bought Daniel Jones some time in the offseason. Oh, like the beard.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny.
Now I don't even
Yeah.
want to talk about the game because I started watching. And it's like this is going to be rough. The Bears had 3 possessions in the first half. They're all 3 and outs. They didn't have any first downs.
Mm-hmm.
Lions were up 16-0, but they had like 4 trips to the red zone. So to only be down 16-0. I'm like, well,
Was good.
got 3 field goals and a touchdown. I'm like, all right. And then like a switch has been flipped, and I don't know what it is.
Second half.
The
Second
Bears
half,
just
they
can't figure
came
out
out.
the first half. Caleb comes out and he's on fire. He's throwing all over the place. He's hitting people, making big time throws, not getting sacked as much. Like
He loves him some Allen.
God, it kills.
I know you.
kills
He
me.
loves him some Allen.
It's been killing me. But like, I guess if he's a security blanket, that's fine. But man, he will try to force it into Allen, and like to the detriment of everybody else that's out there running routes. And so they get back, and I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it. And then they got the ball back, and they got down to the 20 on that crazy pass interference call. That really wasn't a pass interference, but it was ultimately payback because they called a horse collar tackle on Gordon, and which put the Lions down in the red zone with a new set of downs, and then they scored. Right, so whatever. And then they did it. They bears it. They totally 100% bears it. penalty, sack. And instead of on that sack doing anything, like I'm sitting there like get up, because the clock was just running. Get up, snap the ball, do anything. And they didn't do nothing. And Eberflus didn't call a timeout. They didn't do nothing. And then
Caleb
audibles because they knew it was like, well, we're down to 15 seconds, but we got time for one play. Let's go for the end zone. And they lose. Lose in historic fashion. They were at the 20-yard line with a minute left to go in the game and and a timeout. Didn't call it. They finished the game without kicking a field goal or calling a timeout.
I saw they said something like in 1,500 snaps, in 1,500 games.
Where that's happened,
It's
never happened before.
It's never in 1,500 times. It's never been a time where the team with the ball never at least had an attempt at the field goal.
Or called
Never
a
even
timeout.
brought this. Yes, never even brought the kicker team out.
Yeah,
What is he saving timeouts for?
I don't know. And then in the post-game press conference, he says, "Yeah, we would have done it the same way. We'd re-rack that all up and do it the same way again." What? He said that in the post, and then because they're the Bears,
He's not at that point in time. He's not ready to coach.
No, he's never been ready to coach. He's never been ready to coach.
Like,
he said something about executing. We need to execute better. Blah blah blah. Right? Never. Yeah, I should have used that timeout. That's on me. Nothing. Right?
that's like Nathaniel Hackett.
We would do that again.
He got fired for that.
We do it every time. 100 times out of 100, we do the same thing. Then
You would lose.
Then they have the Friday morning post-game Zoom call with the press at 9 a.m. Eberflus takes that, while behind the scenes, they were
He's being fired.
well, I don't think he wasn't fired at 9 a.m. because they would have canceled that press conference and fired him. Right? And then there's been a lot that's come out this last week. Poles wanted to fire him and Waldron after that loss to New England. And George McCaskey, the owner, is like, no, we can't fire him. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't understand the not firing him, but maybe I don't know. Just let him.
But now you said losing the locker room, right?
Yes,
after this game.
Yep.
After this game, he comes in and he does his usual flus rah rah, where he's like, You guys went out there and competed. You fought hard. We're a family. We're a unit. Like whatever. Like I'm only imagining
And
what he
so,
says, right? Like we
yeah,
know what
and
the score
somebody
is.
probably
All
yelled,
we got is each other. Let's all hug.
and
What?
somebody in the background probably said, "I don't want to hear that
Jalen
shit."
Johnson. Jalen
Yeah.
Johnson. He's been there for 5 years. Has never been on a winning team. Went off, and people were like, unnamed players that they didn't want to put their name to it.
Uh,
Said it was unhinged. He was off, and it was so bad. And here's why Flus is not a head coach.
couldn't take it.
He just said and left. He didn't respond to anything.
I like that fieriness. It's misguided. That's what you're supposed to say. It's misguided. I don't think all those F words
I
for
hear
me
ya.
is
I'm
correct.
freaking mad too. Right?
Exactly.
No, he didn't do that. He just said okay, and he left because he can't handle it. He can't handle it. Vanilla pudding, banana's too spicy, chocolate's too ethnic. Right? Like he just doesn't like it. It's who he is. He's soft. He's a marshmallow. He's not he. And when they hired him, people were like, "Bears hire an intellectual. Bears hire smart football guy." He is not proven to be any of those things, and he will never get another head coaching job. He might get a coordinator job, but before we start saying, "Oh boy, their defense is so good," their defense is so good, it's been. I mean,
Been rough the last couple of games.
on the season, they're allowing 5.75 yards per play. That's 27th in the league. They're averaging 4.88 yards per carry. That's 29th in the league. 2.5% interception rate. That's 13th, middle of the pack. 8.4% sack rate. This surprised me, 12th. So they've been getting after but I think a lot of that's propped up by the 5 and 6 sack games they had early on. 34.2% third down conversion rate, which is good, 5th. And red zone, they're first at 40.9% conversion rate. But they bend and don't break. They bend, they let people get all the way down to the one, but we won't let you get to that last one. It's just not. It prolongs offensive drives where your defense is on the field. It doesn't get your offense back on the field that often. It's not a way to maintain. So like all the great, oh, he's such a great defensive mind. No. And as soon as Jaquan Brisker went down, that defense has not been the same. So they don't have that torpedo man out there playing free safety, just ramming into everybody and plugging up gaps. They don't have that, right? So it's just not the same. So Flus gets fired, and I saw this post. They're like, it's a different vibe in Hallis Hall today. Jaquan Brisker was walking around with a big freezer handing out ice cream to people.
Walking around with a freezer?
Yeah, like one of those like a vendor, like walks around with like, the good humor thing, like get your ice cream here. He's handing ice cream to people. Like the team was ecstatic. The team knew he was getting fired. He lost the team after the Hail Mary because of how he handled it. It's like, yeah, we would have done the same way. Like, I don't think I did anything wrong. We just didn't execute, right? It's like, it's always putting the players on the bus, and I called that out after he did it. And that's when they lost him. They lost them. The Bears were 4-2, 12 seconds away from going 5-2, and have since lost 6 consecutive games. They're 4-8. And 4 of those games, they had lost on the last play of the game. Hail Mary, blocked field goal, overtime against the Vikings, and
missed field goal, right?
Well, they got the ball in overtime, penalty, sack, punt, then they marched down and kicked a field goal, right? So, field goal, walk-off field goal for the Vikings, and then this last week. They've lost 4 of 6 games on the last play. They got blown out by the Cardinals, and they were embarrassed by the Patriots at home. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Be gone. Now Thomas Brown comes in. The guy went from offensive coordinator
passing game coordinator.
He was offensive coordinator last year for the train wreck that was the Panthers. Right? Nobody was succeeding on that team. No player, no coach, no nothing. It was a doomed ship. Remember last year the Panthers hired like 50 guys to work in the locker room coaches, like assistant to the run game coordinator, pass game consultant, pass game coordinator. They had all these people in there, right? Too many cooks in the kitchen. Frank Reich gets fired 6 games in or whatever. Doomed organization from the get-go. So then he gets hired this year as the pass game coordinator. And before that, he'd already taken head coach interviews in previous years. He comes from McVay. He coached with McVay for a long time.
Oh, that's true.
Right?
Okay.
So now he gets pass game coordinator, gets promoted to offensive coordinator, right?
A week later, almost. It was 2 weeks.
Well, so after they fire Waldron, he gets 3 games of. Here's the Bears stats on
Caleb Williams, some of his best work,
some of the best games, right? So here's what the Bears were. Here's what the Bears rank this season on offense: 32nd in yards per play with 4.63, 21st in yards per carry with 4.15.
32nd? There's no more teams than that.
No, that's last.
That's last.
So 21st in yards per carry with 4.15. 5th with interception rate, which Caleb's been very good with that, for 1.21%. 32nd in sack rate, sacks allowed.
Yeah, they get a lot, especially
29th in third down conversion, because they spend so many times at 3rd and 8+, always. And they're tied for 3rd in red zone conversion at 66%. But guess what? They don't get to the red zone that often. Now, since the last 3 weeks with Thomas Brown as the OC, they're 19th in yards per play, 5.5. They're 12th in yards per carry. All these are big pluses. Their first interception rate, no interceptions allowed. 24th in sacks per game, so they went from 32nd to 24th. Now, the previous one was cumulative, right? So that includes these stats. They were still dead last in sacks. Third down, they're 45.8% to 27th, so they went from 29th to 27th, so they're getting better. And red zone percent, they're 83.3% in red zone conversion. Now he gets the opportunity to be a head coach. He gets 5 games to prove. Now here's something I didn't like about a week ago. They're like, oh, Thomas Brown, they might be the next Bears head coach. If they get rid of Flus, he could be the next. He's got a Mike Tomlin quality to him. You know why people like white?
Is he black?
Yes. White.
What? I don't even know this guy.
Yes.
Who this guy is?
He can't.
When you say the Mike Tomlin, like, oh, he's got to be black now.
Yep. That's exactly what it is, right? He's got a Mike Tomlin quality to him.
Is that the quality that he has? Because I don't know if 500 coach for the last 11 plus years. He has that quality to him?
I don't know. He's got a Mike Tomlin quality to him. Like, oh, come on. You can't just throw that out there. Come on. Say anything. Compliment anything that he does. But just because he's a black guy, you don't have to equate him to another black guy. You don't have to do it. It's just like not mandatory.
But I thought I saw that the president of the Bears said that we are hiring, and this is going to be like one of the best positions. We're hiring for one of the best positions in football.
I'm not going to argue with that.
But it's on the team. I'm not. But that lets me know that they're doing a search, and the job isn't his.
No, it is not his
right now. So it's not going to be a Antonio Pierce kind of
looking
situation.
Like a one and done guy.
It's possible. Listen, he has no quarterback.
That team is terrible. That team is awful. That team is really bad. But so Thomas Brown gets this opportunity. Like he went from Carolina last year to the Bears passing game coordinator to head coach, all within about a year's time, which is insane. Right? He's an interim head coach. I hope to God he succeeds like a motherfucker. I hope they run out they find a way to win the next 5 and finish 9-8. Which would be insane. It wouldn't guarantee him the job, but it would be insane.
No, exactly. Even if they don't get the job, and this is the one thing about head coaches. Head coaching is going to, whatever head coach you have, he's going to have his team in place. He's going to know his offensive coordinator. He should get at least a look at offensive coordinator.
Yeah, for
for
sure.
that team, because he's like, no, I've worked with Caleb. I've worked with the team. I know, like he should get but that's not how head coaches work in football. They're not going to interview for the OC position. They're going to just hire their guy.
Yeah, they're going to hire their guy. And the thing is, so then all the stuff about Waldron's been coming out. He comes out, he tries to install a pure read-based offense. So that means every play is 1, 2, 3, 4, back. 1, 2, 3, 4, back. Every play is designed that way. Nothing 1, 2 throw. Nothing first read throw. Nothing 1, 2 run. Nothing like that. Right? It's all.
Mm-hmm.
It's like highly complex and like I can't remember who it was. It was on like even seasoned veteran quarterbacks. This is the most difficult offense you can put in for a person, right? But I get why Eberflus liked him like that because that's the way football's played, right? Like if he can do that, he can do anything, right? Like,
But if that's all you give
yeah,
him, then
if you can dodge a wrench,
anything
you can
doesn't matter.
dodge a dodgeball, sort of thing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's that. So it comes out with that. They dismantled the run system that they had previously had for the previous 2 years and tried to rebuild that from the ground up. That's why Khalil Herbert didn't see any field time this year after averaging 5 yards a carry last year. That's why they couldn't figure out anything on the ground. They totally dismantled what they were doing and tried to like build from the ground up instead of using any system that had previously existed. Shane Waldron, and then nobody liked him and people laughed at him, sort of thing, right? He didn't command a room, right?
People laughed at
Yes,
him.
I guarantee he was like the one that were like people would like flick things at him, and he'd be like, and they'd all be
Stop!
laughing at him, he'd
Stop!
be looking around and thinking like a fly's buzzing around him, and they're like throwing things at him, right? Like that's Shane Waldron, and that's Eberflus. They're like the same person. Remember when it came out that Eberflus didn't hire Cliff Kingsbury because he's too big of a personality? I believe that. I believe that 100%. So that's where we're at. The Bears were awful. Bears have a chance to be good. God, they just need to win some games. Like they were
Get
four
the
and
sour
two.
taste.
They were
Yeah.
4-2, and now they're 4-8.
Down there with us.
Yeah,
We've only got 2
the
wins.
Bears
Yeah.
for the last 3 weeks have been closer to the number 1 pick than they have been to third place in their damn division. Every other team in the division has 9+ wins. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
What, 9 and
What do
3,
we do?
10-2, 11-1. What the hell are we supposed to do? Come on. And the worst part is, they're always like, here's the NFC North, and like the 3-headed dragon meme. It's that, right? It's all that. Anytime you can find a way that's like good, bad, good, it's the Bears. Like, here's the Bears. It's the cloud, the clown in the army line. It's the we did our part.
It's the
we did our part.
I'm doing exactly. I
shit.
did shit. I knew it. That's the one I was
Right?
thinking
Like
of.
it's all
I'm
that.
doing my part.
It's all that. I didn't do fucking shit. God, it kills me. It kills me. And because this is why I think that he got fired too, because it was the only game on television where everyone was watching football because it's Thanksgiving. Everybody had opinions on it. Now everybody's since that damn Hail Mary, the Bears have been like, well, don't be like the Bears, even by like fucking like Ted Cruz and shit. Like, can't be like the Bears and let them score on the last throw, right? Like, shut up. None of you have any business talking about the Bears. Just shut up. God, I hate it. They did it to me last year. They're doing it to me again. God bless it, man. Just shut up.
Oh, see, I've let it just wash over me. My team is bad, and I know we're bad. And this is kind of how you felt last year, knowing that you're trying to get a number 1 pick.
Yeah, 2 years ago, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's 2 years ago, and this is where I'm at right this point in
Dude,
time.
I
I'm
was
like,
tankathon cheering, watching the numbers. I'm like, okay, so if the Bears lose here, and the Texans win, or the Texans tie, it's like every possible way to get that number 1 pick.
the Jags really stink, and I don't think we're gonna get
Yeah,
it.
that's tough.
Between the Jags and Oakland,
Yeah, your only hope
those two teams
is for one of those 2 teams to win,
get a win,
and because the Giants might not win the rest of the season.
and we could. Yeah, chances are we probably won't. Don't. Our closest game is this next one coming up against the New Orleans Saints.
And the thing is, though, because of the strength of schedule, the Giants are 0.007% higher on strength of schedule because of Las Vegas Raiders. And the Las Vegas Raiders have the AFC West, who they all keep winning. So that means their strength of schedule gets stronger. And luckily for the Giants, though, the
Washington is
Eagles
strong.
are strong.
And Eagles, yeah. But because chances are this is would be one of my least favorite things to do is get the number 2 pick and the Jaguars get the number 1 pick
because the Jags will trade out of it.
because the Jags are going to trade out of it. And it's a lot to it would cost you too much to move one spot.
Yes.
If you were 4 and trying to get to 1, maybe 3 to 1, that's still a lot as well. Can be done. 2 to 1 is just too much.
If I
You just stay at 2 and just pick whatever
yes.
quarterback is left over because Oakland at that point in time would be the team you'd have to watch out for. But I am still under the belief that the Giants quarterback of next year is on
Steelers.
the Steelers team.
I don't think that's a bad way to go. I'm gonna tell you what. If I was rebuilding the Jacksonville Jaguars, here's what I do. Get that for number 1 pick. Fire Doug Peterson. Just clean house
Okay.
there. Get in. I trade out of that to like somewhere 2, 3, 4, 5. I trade out of that
Mm-hmm.
to like
Yep.
9, 10, 11, 12. I trade out of that
You're
again.
still getting the best. The double trade down.
I triple trade. I
You don't
triple
even
trade down if I can.
where's as low as you going
I
to.
stay in the first round.
Of course, you stay in the first one, but you don't think that they need an offensive an offensive
Oh, they
lineman,
need a lot. They need a
or
lot. That's why you need. That's
that's
why
what
you
I'm
need as many
saying.
picks as you can, and you don't just need
But
a
you got to
lot
stay in the
now.
top
You
10.
need a lot for the future as well, right? Because of Trevor Lawrence's contract, right?
Yes,
So
you need to get a
you
lot of
need
young,
first
talented.
round talent. So you need as many blue chips
Yeah,
as you can. So when you're trading to somebody who wants to take a quarterback at 1, odds are you're getting a team that's going to be bad again next year. I mean,
it's
that's just
possible.
kind of how it
It's
works,
possible.
right? Like the
Yeah.
odds are there with it. Not every team gets to draft a quarterback and bring him into the best situation ever for a rookie quarterback, and then have a shit coach ruin him, right? Not everybody's that lucky. But if I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars, I trade back as much as I can. Like I follow that Bears blueprint of getting all that draft capital from a shitty team, and then getting draft capital again from a less shitty team, and again draft capital again from another not as shitty team. Because odds are those bad teams will be bad again, right? So just
Hmm.
get those picks, and you still get a blue chip talent in the top 20. So like, let's say you land at like 18 after trading back a couple times.
You're still getting
You're still
somebody.
getting good players at 18. You're still getting real good players. This is the NFL. This is the NBA, where it's
Listen,
like no.
18 is tricky.
Oh sure.
18 is where good teams get good players. 18 is where bad
Yes.
teams get players where we're like, how is this guy the 18 pick in the
Yes.
draft?
That's where like
So
Alex Leatherwood gets drafted and stuff like that.
that's what I'm just
Emmanuel
saying.
Forbes.
Good teams get good players at
Yep.
18. Jags will not get a good player at
The
18.
the, the
I'm just saying
Bengals
it right
drafted
now.
Amarius Mims this last year, and he's been their starting tackle, and he's been very good. And then at 19, the Rams drafted Jared Verse, who's looking at like he is the defensive rookie of the year. There's lots of guys.
I think the Giants once drafted Kadarius Toney at 19.
They did.
that's, that's what I'm like. I remember 19 not being very good for
Right?
us.
Like there's lots of good players. I mean, we're just looking at
There are.
like Jacksonville got
You just
Brian
got to.
Thomas Jr. at 23 last year, and he's a stud. Like so, I
Mhm.
mean,
Well, he needs someone to throw them the
it's true.
ball.
Uh,
And they need an offensive lineman. They need to give him some, they need
that's
another
what I'm saying.
alignment.
There's opportunity there.
That's why I'm like, you could trade down to like 7. I don't want to go too far down. So if I go from 1 to 3 and then 3 to 7, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I know I can get a good guard. I know I could probably get a tackle because you're looking at the top 3 pick are probably going to take 1 and 2 probably be quarterback. You might get Travis Henry out there. You might even get Travis Henry at 7 if you wanted
Don't
him.
even know. Like I don't even know what the future draft looks like as far as like prospects go. But I mean, last year
Oh yeah,
he
yeah.
had so many offensive skill positions go in the first 15 picks, including Brock Bowers, who is going to break like rookie receive. He's like he might break the all-time tight end receptions record. Not just rookies, but like for a player. Like granted, he's the only thing
Mhm.
on that team, and
Only thing.
that they all just throw to him, and he catches everything they throw to him. But like Brock Bowers was
Mhm.
at 13. Like there's lots of opportunity for quality players there. If I'm Jacksonville,
Yeah,
I'm trying to stockpile because I need to make moves. And you can always use draft picks to trade for players too, but like you just need draft capital and lots of it.
they've done this before though. Like they've tried building in the draft.
Yeah,
They've tried building in free
never
agency.
as bad. That's what I'm saying.
They've tried swapping
If I were
quarter
doing it, if
coaches.
I were doing it,
They've done
I would
coach
solve this
swap.
team in like give me like I don't know 7 weeks, right? Like
I tell you, I told you first off, I wouldn't. After you talk about someone, I would not have gotten Trevor Lawrence. I would not have signed Trevor Lawrence for $55 million per.
no, probably not.
Wouldn't have signed them. That's going to hurt
Oh
them.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need draft capital. You need
You
cheap
got
young
you
players
do.
that are good. You need to go that Eagles route where you keep trading back, you get quality players, and then they just turn out to be good. Like they just draft guys from Georgia, and then it turns out well for them. So there you go. Oh boy, what a shitty fucking week of football, man! I hated it, like every moment of it. Packers beat the Dolphins. I'm like, come on, go away. The Chiefs like steal a win from the Raiders of
That's what I'm saying.
fake
Yeah, the Raiders
whistles.
don't. The Raiders aren't horrible.
Yeah, but I don't think the Chiefs are good.
No, the Chiefs aren't.
They're 11.
But,
They're 11-1, right? So it's hard.
we said the same. We said the same thing
I know.
last year. They didn't look good, and they weren't 11-1 last
They
year.
had 5 losses last year, I think. Right?
Yeah, and
No,
didn't get home field advantage. Didn't
didn't
matter.
matter. They still won. And like, oh god, that game was just that was painful to watch. Couldn't watch it.
Mhm.
Chargers Falcons. Do you know who leads the league in interceptions?
Jesus,
Kirk
right.
O'Chain.
Yes, I do know.
Do you know who
Kirk
also
O'Chain
leads
with
the league in
13.
fumbles? Kirk O'Chain. He's got like 18 fumbles too. He hasn't lost all 18, but he's got 18 fumbles.
Listen, I picked them because they were home.
Yeah.
And they should have won that game.
Yeah, they didn't.
The Chargers did nothing.
Yeah.
And Kirk proceeded to give them the victory. They were marching down every chance they could get. Every chance they could get, Kirk was like, that's all right.
Yeah. And then we had the Steelers and the Bengals. Now, you weren't here for my picks. I picked the Bengals in that game. Not because I dislike the Steelers, but because the Bengals were home.
They gotta have
The Bengals are home. It's a division rival game. It's just one of those games where like who knows what'll happen because it happened to the Browns and the Steelers, right? And the Bengals are very good offensively.
You didn't know Russ was gonna go out
I
there.
didn't know Russ was going to throw
and put a
400 something yards.
foot in there.
Holy cow! Come on, come on.
The Bengals defense is
I
non-existent.
know. Yeah, they don't do anything. They don't stop the
nothing.
run. They don't stop the pass. They don't stop anything. The
Nothing.
Steelers. I don't know if the Steelers have broken 35 in the last 5 years.
42 is what is it?
44.
42? 44. They could not be stopped. Pickens over everywhere. Like, it was bad. And Pickens does the most to just get ejected every
Pickens
game.
will
Like,
Pickens it up.
he does. He's how does Tomlin find these players?
I don't. He doesn't pick them though. Well, I imagine he's part of the process. But like every wide receiver they get is since Hines Ward. They had Hines Ward who was like a role model citizen and a great football player, and everything since then has been iffy as hell.
They did not do well with Plaxico Burress when he first got there. Plaxico then went to the Giants. Then you're talking about Antonio Brown. That didn't work out. Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yep.
Wasn't he the one that was like making videos in the locker room?
Yeah.
They just seem like they've
Chase
had
Claypool.
Chase Claypool.
Who's the guy on they traded to the Ravens?
Deontay Johnson?
Yeah.
These Panthers, I think,
No,
right? Is it Panthers
I
or
think he
Ravens?
was on the Panthers and they traded him to the Ravens.
Yeah, he's there now. Yeah. Mhm.
So I mean, I don't know how they pick him, but they still win. And like this is they're 9-3. Man, they're 2 games up on the Ravens.
They're good 9-3.
Yeah, they are.
Too.
They're
good
the fact that teams don't find ways to triple team TJ Watt, I just don't understand. Like you've got to do something.
You can't triple team him every.
You've got to find a way to
down.
do it. Either that or dig a hole out there. You got to Bugs Bunny that man or something. Like there's no way you can let him beat you, and he always beats them.
He always does.
So
And Russ was out
yeah,
there
it was.
dealing.
It was. So bad teams find ways to lose in close games, and good teams find
Correct.
ways to win in close games. The Vikings win 23-22 against the Cardinals in a game they probably had no business winning. They had several games in a row
Mm-hmm.
the Vikings probably should have lost games, but guess what? They have a good coach. That's another thing that pisses me off. Every team in the NFC North has a good coach. Not like an okay coach or my. They're all like, hey, who's winning coach of the year this year? Is it Dan Campbell? No. Is it Brian LaFleur? I don't know. Is it what's his face for the Vikings? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Kevin O'Connell, right? Like they just like what's going on? Okay. So the Colts find a way to beat the Patriots 25-20. Not because they're a good team. The Patriots are just really bad.
That was the play that you do on it away from not at home, down down
Mm-hmm.
6, no, down 7.
Yeah.
You get the touchdown. Got
Then
to
you
go
go
for 2.
because you're on the road.
Got to go for 2. You're on the road.
There was my dad said it when I was a child, and for some reason it's been ingrained in my head. Go for the win on the road. Go for the tie at home. I don't know why he said that to me. I don't know if that was I don't know if that was like the leather helmet football thinking of the 60s and 70s, but that's just what he said. And for some reason, that's always been ingrained in my head. And so when teams are going for two in the second quarter, when down 4, just like why don't go for two when you have to go for two.
When you got to
And
go for
Anthony
2.
Richardson is not very good,
He's getting
but
better. He still air mails a bunch of passes. But I am seeing improvement in the
he's an
way he
athletic
plays
freak.
the
That
game.
helps.
He does not settle for the 3-yard dump off
No.
pass. I watch Taylor like this,
Yeah.
and he's going 40
He doesn't
yards.
believe in it.
He's
Yeah.
going 40 yards
It's all or
every
nothing. It's
time.
home run or nothing every time for him.
He's got a cannon for an arm, and he wants to use it. He, he's not meant to do dump off passes. He's not. And Taylor's just sitting there in the flat, like, this is
Yep.
me. There's no one open. He's like, oh no, he's not. He's not open
Yeah.
yet. But wait till I throw
Once
this.
that ball comes down, he'll be open. So the Jets let the Seahawks.
Completely jetted up.
God, I love
They were
it.
up 21 to like 10 or
21-16 at
maybe
the half.
less.
And they didn't score anything.
Yeah,
They
but it
lost
was
26-21. And 10
Mhm.
points came in the fourth quarter. I was listening to that one on the radio. And then, yeah, that was just it was Gino's a really good quarterback.
I didn't see any.
And I don't think the Seahawks team feels iffy to me,
Uh-huh.
but Gino's a really good quarterback. Just leave it at that. And Aaron Rodgers is done. He's been so done. And I love him being done. And they're like, should
know
we
you
bench
do.
Aaron Rodgers? Should we just cut him? They're cutting him at the end of the season because it's financially sound. One, because if they keep him, then he's on the books for like 4 more years, even though he won't be on the team. Right? Like it's something ridiculous. If they cut him now, it's like there's dead cap, but they can split it over 2 years. If they bring him back next year, it's like a $50 million hit, and then there's like $30 million the next year. It's like dumb. So he'll be gone, and he's got a goddamn documentary coming out about him on Netflix. That's why he went to Egypt. He was filming
What?
content for this damn documentary. Oh, you know what we need? We need another outlet because no, Lord knows we never know what Aaron Rodgers is thinking. He's got a damn documentary coming out on Netflix. It's called something stupid too, like
Like Aaron
Omen or
Rodgers.
something like that. Aaron Rodgers documentary. What is it called? It's called something really stupid. Enigma. Fuck you. There's nothing enigmatic about you in any way whatsoever. You tell the world everything that you're thinking, even the dumbest thing ever. You tell people.
But you never know if he's gonna play or not. Is he gonna retire? Is he not? He's an
The
enigma.
darkness retreat.
You never
what
know.
comes out of the darkness retreat? Lord only knows.
Who knows?
Fuck that guy. Commanders destroyed Will Levis and the Titans, 42-19.
Mhm.
Jaden Daniels had a nice game again.
It was 28-0
Yeah, it
fast.
was-
Like 9 minutes still to go in the second
I was
quarter.
watching the numbers
Fast.
creep up, and Jaden Daniels had two touchdowns running, and 1 touchdown passing, and he only had like 50 yards passing, and they were up 28. I'm like, come
Yep.
on.
There was a lot of interception. There was not. Will Levis was not looking good.
Texans find a way to beat the Jaguars, literally and physically.
Yeah, you think you
I
know
don't
how.
think the Texans. I
Did we
think the
just-
Texans are a sneaky bad.
Sneaky
Yeah,
bad, yes.
like
They're a first round
yeah,
out.
they feel like it. Like at the beginning of the season, everybody's like, oh,
The Colts, yeah,
they're gonna be a Super Bowl contender.
and they were good early on.
Yeah,
Then they lost Hopkins. First, they lost
Nico and they
Nico
lost
Harris for a
Hopkins.
while. Nico Collins. Then they lost Was it
Yeah,
Hopkins? Not Hopkins.
yeah, D Hop.
Is it
Yeah, they had D
Hopkins?
Hop. No, Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
Stephon Diggs.
No, Stephon Diggs. I was saying Hopkins at
Yeah, yeah,
Chiefs
yeah,
now. Yeah, they had Stephon
yeah.
Diggs, and they couldn't get it. They couldn't get it
No,
together. The timing, and then now Nico's back, and Diggs is still out, and they still
they
don't
just
look
don't
great.
score the points. Joe Mixon's a real nice player. Like he's
No, Nick Mixon is holding them
yeah,
down.
like and CJ
But
Stroud's still in the top like 5 or 6 in passing yardage and touchdowns. They just don't look
they just
good.
don't look. They don't look
They don't.
explosive. They don't. Yeah.
No, no, not the game that you saw. The Rams went to the Saints and beat the Saints. They scored
Yeah. Taysom Hill is out for the season.
Yep, tore his ACL. He's done, and he's gonna be 35. So I'm thinking he's like done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe he should
yeah,
be.
probably.
Probably
Rams.
he started
The
late.
Rams got shut out in the first half for the first time in McVay's coaching career, and then they just scored 21 in the second half. Kyron Williams is a stud, and
Good.
he's good. Oh,
Yeah, I think he has more carries than everyone else.
yeah,
Like I think I
yeah,
saw
he's leading
something.
the league in carries, I think, not in yardage. So, uh,
No, not yards.
the Bucks eke out an overtime win versus the Panthers. You know who's been good the last 3 weeks after getting benched? Bryce Young
Bryce
has been good.
Young.
Like he figured
Bryce
something out.
Young.
Like
The benching was
I guess
needed.
it was, man, because he's figuring stuff out and he's making plays and he's looking good.
He looks
Yeah,
smarter. He looks smarter. He's not making dumb decisions. He looks a little bit more settled
yeah,
down in the pocket. Yeah, the benching
yeah.
helped.
So Bryce is
He doesn't look like I'm happy that he
yes.
doesn't look like a super bust. And they've been very
They've been
competitive.
competitive. They've still lost. They're still 3-9.
Very competitive. Still lost, but they've been very
Yes, because they
competitive.
put
Which
the
is
Buccaneers to the brink, and they the week before they
the Chiefs the night before, the week
yeah
before that. Yep.
like they've been okay. So like I have high hopes for Bryce Young. I still think he's going to be a good player, and there's a chance that he will be. So that's good for them. Man,
Hmm.
that throw that he made to Adam Thielen to tie the game or to take the lead in the fourth quarter with only 30 seconds left. You're like, man, Bryce just then they bearsed it. The Panthers bearsed it. And what's funny, I saw a Panthers fan saying, like, I think the Panthers won the trade with the Bears because look how dysfunctional the Bears are. The trade has nothing to do with how dysfunctional the Bears are. Eagles,
That's just history. That's
and still
just
not done. The Eagles have destroyed the Ravens in Baltimore.
they didn't destroy the Ravens. If 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 luck
Oh sure,
if what is
Tucker,
his name? I
Justin
can't think.
Tucker.
Tucker. If Tucker makes those two field
Yeah, he
goals,
left 7 points on the field, including
7 points on the field, then they lost what by
they
six or
lost by
seven?
five. Yeah, oh
Five.
for sure.
And they were doing stuff that they wouldn't have normally done had they been up.
But
Like they should have
but
been
the
up.
Eagles defense kept the best offense in football in check big time.
Yeah.
In check big time. Now, like, yeah, okay, so destroyed is a bad word, but the Ravens were up or
They had a
down
garbage touchdown.
24-12, and
Yeah.
then like they scored a touchdown with like a minute left or whatever, right?
A minute, like,
And
seconds, or
and
yeah,
and,
minutes
and
left.
didn't get the onside kick, right? So, uh, like
But they would have been like the score was they were down like 16-12. It was something like that. And I was like, okay, this field goal is gonna put it in. This field goal. The first he missed the extra
yeah,
point. Like you said, left 6-7 points on the field.
and that's tough.
That's that's tough.
And Lamar's still great. Lamar's still Lamar. Uh, Receivers didn't really do him any favors, except
A lot of
for Mark
drops.
Andrews.
There was some drops
touchdown
there.
catch that Mark Andrews had
Yeah.
was nice. Uh,
There was a bunch of
but
drops. It like
Derek,
end zone
yeah, Derrick
drops.
Henry got blocked up pretty well. Like he just,
But he still had like 14 carries for 80
yeah,
something
yeah,
something
but
yards. He still had a
he
good
didn't have
game.
he didn't have the Derrick Henry games they was having 4 weeks ago or whatever, right? So that's a big signature win for the Eagles right now because they're like, oh, the
Oh,
Eagles,
for
well, they
sure.
beat nobody, and now that they beat the Ravens at
At
home,
home in
and yeah,
Baltimore, even though Baltimore is a hop, skip, and a jump away from
yeah,
Philly.
and
It's
if the
like
Eagles fans travel well, then there's probably plenty of Eagles fans there.
that's easy to travel. You can do that and go back home at the end of the game. You ain't even got to get a
Yep.
hotel for that one.
We talked about the Bills embarrassing the 49ers. 49ers are 5-7, and they look bad. And then the
Last night's game.
Bo Nix and Jameis Winston. So Bo Nix didn't put on a show, but he did have that one throw. That throw for that 97-yarder. It wasn't a 97-yard throw, but
No,
it was
through the
40. It was a good 40 yards.
through. It felt like it was through the hands of
Yeah,
defenders. Like it went
right into Mims
and
and
right into
right
the.
into Mims and stride and took a 97. That was a great play. And Jameis
That
Winston
was a
comes
great
back with
play.
his own 70-yarder to Jerry Jeudy like the next possession, right?
Yes.
Jameis Winston threw for 497 yards passing, which
Mm-hmm.
is a Browns team record. He threw 4 touchdowns on offense. He threw 3 picks that had 176 return yards associated with them and 2 touchdowns. So he threw 2 pick sixes. The man threw 6 touchdowns and over
Mm-hmm.
600 yards of yardage.
He said he's asking the Lord to stop him from throwing pick sixes. I'm like, well, what if the Lord wants you? What if it's in His plan for you to throw pick sixes, Jameis?
I will never begrudge any person their religion, but any person who
Uh-huh.
believes that
Asking
God
for
is sit up there with a favorite team is like, I want Jameis to throw this week, or I want no, okay, you can be grateful for your talent, but there is no almighty power
that is
that is
controlling your
controlling
game.
teams or controlling games or anything like that, right?
Mhm.
Just stop doing that. Stop. I wish it would stop. Great game. How did you win? First, I got to praise God. Great. Why? God did nothing in this game. You carried the football for 200 yards.
Well,
That's what you should be like. What happened? Oh man, holes opened up, and I used my God-given skills and
well,
talents.
they could go. Listen. I gotta thank God that I'm not what happened to Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
Notice that I'm healthy. I
Yeah.
thank you for getting me through this game.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, God's not going hurt, healthy, hurt, healthy. Like, not happening. Not happening.
Maybe
No.
you never know.
Nope.
Maybe we don't know what Trevor did the night before,
That's true.
and God's like, I gotta get you back for
That's
that
true.
one. I gotta get you back for
Yeah.
that one.
He like drilled
You
a hole
never
in the
know.
Bible and fucked it or something. Who knows? That would make God mad, I think. Or maybe God be like very inventive. I gave you brains for a reason. Who knows? I don't know.
Oh no, James,
Yeah, but Bo Nix,
was a good
Bo
game,
Nix has been
solid game.
good.
he's done what everything that
Yes,
Sean
yeah,
Payton
he
wanted
has
him to
done
do.
that, and that's all, I
Yes.
guess all you can do really. And so then if we
Mhm.
come down to this, the old adage, he's a system quarterback. Every quarterback should be a system quarterback because they should develop a system that accentuates your skills.
Alex Smith said, I don't forget who he was talking about. He's like, I am the president of the system quarterback club. Like I am. When people think of a system quarterback, it's me. He's like, yeah. So
Yeah.
what? Who cares? But he said someone is not a system quarterback. He's like, I forgot who he was talking to. I think it might have been Caleb. I can't remember. He was talking about somebody. He's like, we're not going to put this guy in the system quarterback club just yet. I'm the president of that club, and I'm not putting him in it just yet.
But like, be a system quarterback. Alex Smith had a great career, and he was a very good quarterback. Be a system quarterback, and the system is designed for
The
you.
thing
to be
about
successful.
Alex Smith's career, though,
Yeah.
it'll be forgotten in about
Unfortunately,
5,
because
6
he never
years.
won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. And he wasn't an all pro kind of
He had
guy.
pro years.
He had good years. He had really good years, but his career will be
And
forgotten.
what's a
in
shame
about
about that
5
is
years.
he was the predecessor to Kaepernick. He gets hurt. He was
Mhm.
having a historic year because he was like throwing like 88% or some ridiculous completion percentage.
he does that everywhere he goes.
And he gets hurt, and then Kaepernick comes in, and they go to Super Bowl,
Can't-
right? So then he
Uh-huh.
goes, they trade him to
KC.
where he's very good. It takes him to the playoffs a couple years ago in a row, and then they trade him to Washington, and then Patrick Mahomes takes him to the Super Bowl, right? Like,
Well, they didn't trade him to well, they did trade him, but remember they took him to the playoffs, and it was a game they didn't need. That final game of the season, they was like, all right, Alex, let Patrick Mahomes play that game. It was the only game he started his rookie year. He has not started a game
well,
since then.
Alex Smith played in playoffs.
Smith played in the
But
playoffs,
yeah,
and
and they
then
traded him
the
off to
regular season, they
Washington.
was like, yeah, we don't need him
Well, I
anymore.
mean
Which he was having.
that's why they drafted Mahomes to begin with, right? To be the replacement. It just
I didn't think it was going to be that
no one
fast.
did.
No one who saw Mahomes in college thought he was that a
No one
gunslinger.
thought he was gonna be
Maybe
that good. And
no. He had a game in college where him and Baker Mayfield combined for I think
that
1,100
doesn't
yards
surprise me.
passing.
Yeah,
Like I think Mahomes had 600 yards
yeah,
passing, and Baker had like
yeah.
500.
That doesn't surprise me one bit. All right. So our picks last week, Harland, you did
How'd I do?
very well. Let's hold on. I did very well. I had 12.
I picked the
I
Giants
had
over the
12 correct.
damn.
You did even better, and you had 13 right. You went 13-3 last week. You missed the Giants, understandable.
Of him.
You missed the Chargers, and you
And I was watching that game only because of that. I knew I had Atlanta because you tricked me into it because I forgot to put them down on my list. And you was like, "What about Atlanta and Chargers?" I'll just put you down for
well,
Atlanta.
I
And
assumed you were going to Atlanta because as you're Justin Herbert
because of
fan.
Harvard. Yes, I
And
figured,
then
and I
you
did.
missed the Ravens and the Eagles, right?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I got.
I missed
Yeah.
the Bears.
And probably
I
the
missed the
Packers.
Dolphins. Then that's Steelers
And you
Bengals. Where that was
Steelers.
my
Yeah.
hunch. Like that was my gut. I went on that one.
And I figured you would go with the Bengals because they were
Yes,
home. I figured that they were not
I think they were like
the
I think
underdog was the
yeah.
Pittsburgh.
And then I missed on the Ravens Eagles. Even though there was part of me that wanted to go Eagles because you went Ravens, but I'm like, I said because the previous week I took the Chargers, and I'm like, I think the Chargers at home they're gonna do it. They're gonna find a way. And then I said, well, I don't know why I went against Lamar Jackson. I'll never do that again. So then I picked the Eagles, and then the Eagles beat them. Or I didn't pick the Eagles, and the Eagles win. So we are on the season at both at 122 and 73.
Oh, I had to come back. Had to come
Yes.
back.
We are both tied up. Oh,
All
this
right.
week there's teams. This is the last bye week of the season, I think. Week 14.
Yes.
So there's lots of teams on bye. There's only
Mm-hmm.
13 games this week. The first one features Thursday Night Football. Features two teams that played last Thursday and are playing again this Thursday. The Packers are going to Detroit to face the Lions. Both
Okay.
came off of victories. Packers are 11-1, the Lions are 11-1. Packers are 9-3.
Oh.
Detroit are 3-point favorites,
See,
and this is at home.
I, if playing the game, me versus you,
Yes.
I want to say Lions, so at least we push if we lose. But I can't go again. I've been riding with the Packers all
You're right
year.
with the Packers.
I can't stop.
I
I do think the Lions are the better team. And at Detroit, this is almost dumb for me to pick. I'm clearly picking the underdog.
yeah. It's only 3 points though.
Damn it.
Did you see Sonic and Knuckles wearing Sonic and Knuckles shoes, cleats in the game?
I did not.
They
No.
had like the red with the yellow and the yellow with the red shoes. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I'm trying to look to see if there's any other games that I think we're going to pick different on. So to see if I can even think about going. I can't do it. I can't do it. I've been riding with the Packers all year. I'm going to pick Green Bay.
Okay,
And you're picking
I am
Detroit.
picking Detroit. Not only because I despise the Packers, and I don't think I picked them yet.
But
this
they're the
season,
better team.
But the
You
Lions,
have not.
and that means I've been wrong 9 times.
Yes.
But the Lions are very good, and I think that sort of game, that Bears game, is like a team galvanizer, and they'll probably run the table. My Lions Bills Super Bowl prediction is still looking pretty good. Still looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and you picked the Packers and Chiefs, I think, which does not look good at all.
The Chiefs don't look good.
Nor do the Packers. All right. And then we got the early games on Sunday. We got the Giants going. The Giants are hosting the
Nope,
Saints.
hosting
The 0-6
with
0-6 at
zero
home.
games, 0 games won at home. I'm
Saints.
still going Giants.
Saints are 5-point favorites.
Damn it, I don't want to go Giants. I don't want to go Giants. I'm riding and dying. I'm riding and dying with my teams. I'm going
All right,
Giants.
Giants. It is. I'm picking the Saints.
Of course you are.
Well, it has. It's nothing personal. Uh, I just
No, it's a
yeah.
smart play.
The
They're
Giants are really pretty bad. So it's
not
it's
very
tough.
good.
Then
And with no Dexter Lawrence, no defense, I may switch this. I'm switching it. I'm going
oh man,
Saints.
that's almost a guaranteed Giants win now.
I know. I know.
All right, Saints it is. All right.
We got no Dexter Lawrence. There's so many pieces that are absolutely missing. It would be malpractice to pick the Giants.
Yeah, they're even if Tommy Cutlets is healthy, I don't think that's anything.
Yeah, I'm not worried. Yeah.
Oh boy, the 3-9 Titans host the 2-10 Jaguars, and they are definitely without Trevor Lawrence. Titans
Titans.
are 4-point favorites, only 4-point favorites at home.
Titan.
I'm taking the Titans as well. I do not see a world in which the Jaguars win another game this season because
I need them to win
I don't
another
think
game. I need them to
I
win
don't think
another
Trevor Lawrence
game.
plays another game this season. After watching that, there's
Why
no
not?
reason to rush them back because they're already terrible.
Mm-mm.
It's not like they're
Yeah.
fighting for anything. You might as well ride the Mac Jones train and see what they got in them. Because if they have a multi-year deal on
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones, they could probably trade him off if he ends up being good.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. It's not
The
gonna be good.
previously hot but lost on Green Bay in the cold Dolphins 5-7, hosting the terrible Jets 3-9. The enigma of the Jets that is 3-9. Miami are 6-point favorites at home.
I know. I'm going Jets.
You're going Jets?
The Jets let me. They gave me a win before.
Well,
I don't like the
well,
Dolphins.
I do not like the Jets in anything. And the thing is, I've picked the Jets to win.
They can't keep losing them all though. They
They
can't keep
can,
losing them
and they
all.
will. I picked the Jets to win games this year, and so they're 3-9. There's a chance that I've been wrong like 9 times. Not on purpose, but just like I think the Jets will win this game. Whap whap. Oh boy, the Vikings, the 10-2 Vikings, are hosting Kirk Cochains.
I'm done with Kurt
The
James.
6-6
He's out of here.
Falcons. The Vikings are 5.5-point favorites at home.
Going to Vikings.
As am I. The Falcons are pretenders and a half. Tampa Bay is going to take that division. The Eagles are 12-point favorites at home versus the Panthers.
Gonna pick
Yeah,
the Eagles.
even though that Bryce has been good the last 3 weeks, uh,
If he keeps it close,
that
I'll be
Eagles
happy.
defense is going to give him problems, I think. But yeah, maybe he'll play good and they'll keep it close. But like I feel bad for him. That team's just bad. Steelers looking for revenge, hosting the Browns. Steelers are 6.5-point favorites.
That's another one of those teams that I'm riding with them
Yeah,
Steelers.
gotta. I'm going Steelers as well. I mean, they're just heavy favorites, and I can't pick the Browns. I watched them last night. Just,
They don't look bad with
yeah, but
Jameis.
they're just the Browns. They're still cursed as long as Watson's associated with that team, and he will be for the next 3 years. Even if they cut him, he's still associated with them.
Just because they
that
pay him, just
that
because
stink is still there, man. The Buccaneers 6-6 hosting the Raiders. So there's a point in that Buccaneers game where old Bake Show got hurt. People were afraid he tore his Achilles, and it turns out, nah, I'll just go out there and play the rest of the game. This
Yeah,
is
the
a dude
Raiders.
that remember in the Rams he scored that touchdown on that game where they signed him on Tuesday. He played on Thursday and they won, and he headbutted somebody without a helmet on. He didn't have the helmet on. The other dude did. That's Baker Mayfield.
Crap for brains is
Pretty
what you
much,
meant to
yeah.
say.
They're 6.5-point favorites versus Antonio Pierce's Raiders. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going
Yeah,
Buccaneers.
that's a good call. I need to look. What is his name? Mike Evans stats. How close is he to 1,000 yards?
I'm having so much trouble down.
You all right?
Oh yeah, I'm okay. I'm trying to 3D print something
Oh.
and has not printed one
Mike
time.
Evans has 521 yards.
Oh, that's not happening. Oh, I guess he got 5 games
He's
to
got
go. He
5
could.
games to get 479 yards.
Yeah, he
I
could.
mean, he's averaging where is it? Yards per
Probably
game.
75 a game.
57.9 a game.
Oh, that's
No,
not
but
good.
55 gets you to like 980. So he's on pace to have 1,000 yards if he played a full season, but he's only played 9 games, so it's tough.
Hmm.
Hopefully, he's able to do it. I would hate to see that record be broken due
Due
to
to
injury. Yeah.
injury. Yeah.
All right, then we have the late slate. The 49ers, 5-7, licking their wounds, hosting the 4-8 Bears. The Buccaneers, or not the Buccaneers, the 49ers are 4.5 point favorites.
I'm picking the 49ers. I've got Brock Purdy in fantasy and I need him to go crazy.
It ain't happening because I'm going to tell you what
Because the Flus
the
has been
Flus has been
loose.
cut
He's
loose.
been cut
Yes,
loose.
the Flus has been cut loose, and now we have a new Bears team, the rejuvenated. They
Hmm.
got the mini bye because they played on Thursday. They licked their wounds on Friday. They had ice cream on Monday. Like this is the new. This is the Bears team that we all thought they're going to go out there and they're going to pitch a shutout, and they're going to put up 44 too. 44-0 is the final score. Bears win.
Uh-huh.
No defensive scores. It's all offensive scores. And yeah, that's what's going to happen. Brock Purdy will just have a bad game. He's not even going to hit.
I don't need that. I don't
He's
need
going to
that.
have a total of 65 yards passing. No,
Fantasy playoffs is
no
coming up
touchdowns.
soon,
Yeah, I
man. I
know.
don't need this. Need the
I know.
wins.
I know. All right. The 6-6 Cardinals, second place Cardinals, host the first place Seahawks, 7-5. Cardinals are 3-point favorites at home.
I'm going Seahawks.
That's not a bad call. I like Geno Smith. I like his connection. He's been hitting JSN with lots of stuff. They have good running backs. But the Cardinals are at home.
Uh-huh. You're not picking dogs
Can't pick the
anymore.
dogs. Not in this one.
Unless it's the
Unless
Bears. Unless it's the
or it's
Bears.
versus the Packers. Uh, or I just have a strong gut feeling. I don't have a strong gut feeling about any of this, so I'm going Cardinals on this one. Bills fly all the way to Los Angeles after playing in the snow, play the Rams. 6-6 Rams, 10-2 Bills. Buffalo are 5-point favorites in this one.
Buffalo.
I think Buffalo's a very good team.
I don't care if they I don't care if they go all the way to LA.
Yeah, they'll be just fine. Let's see. Then we have Sunday night. We've been waiting all day for Sunday night. The Chargers go to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs. Not just.
Chiefs.
Hold on. I didn't say all the words. The Chiefs are 11-1. Chargers are 8-4. Division rivals. Chiefs are 3.5 point
Chiefs.
favorites. Now, I'm going to tell you what.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I'm taking the Chargers.
Is she picking
Picking
dog?
dogs. It's those blue
Okay.
uniforms, man. They're intoxicating. Then on Monday night, it's the Simpsons Bowl. So get ready. They're gonna do some sort of like a thing where the Simpsons are playing in the game at the same time or something. I don't know.
It's on ESPN and
Yeah.
ABC. Disney
Disney owns
does
the
own
Simpsons.
Fox now.
So the
Yep.
Simpsons are doing like that Buzz Lightyear thing where they tried to like make it look like a. So they picked a
Uh-huh.
heck of a game. The Bengals versus the Cowboys. 4-8 Bengals, 5-7
Beng-
Cowboys.
I don't care. There is no way the Bengals could have 0% defense. There's no way that the Cowboys
Yeah,
are
I
going to do. Yeah, it's got.
There is a strong chance the Bengals put up a 50 spot.
It is
That
a strong
offense
chance.
is bonkers. Joe Burrow is having
Mhm.
one hell. If the Bengals were winning, people would be like, I think Joe Burrow's the MVP.
Joe Burrow, the last couple games that they've lost, he's had amazing numbers.
Joe Burrow, let me pull it up real fast.
Like 0 interceptions, 11 touchdowns, and like 9. It's been crazy the last 3 games
Yep.
or something.
He's thrown for 3,337 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. 30 touchdowns in 12 games.
In 12 games. That's
It
a
is
lot.
a ton. It is a ton.
Yeah.
Uh,
4-8.
Yeah. So he threw for 309 and 3-1 this last week versus Pittsburgh. 356, 3-0 versus the Chargers. 428, 4-0 versus Baltimore. Those are all losses. 251, 5-1 versus the Raiders. That's a win. Then Philadelphia 234, 1-1. That's his worst game of the season, right there. Well, he had a tough one versus New England in the beginning of the year, but Joe Burrow is playing outstanding football. His hair's grown back. He doesn't look like he wants to be Eminem from 2005. So
Yes.
that's good. Um,
Still lose though. I mean, they
yeah.
still win.
Do you know one of his
That's a win.
nicknames is Joe Shiesty?
No, I did not know that. That what it says when you looked
Yeah,
up his
Joe
stats.
Burr, Joey Franchise, and Joe Shiesty.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, remember that era of rap in the late '90s, early aughts, where everybody had like pseudonyms that were like either either Central American drug lords or like everybody
Noriega.
wants to be like the Wu-Tang Clan, so it's like it's Joe Burrow, Joe Burr, aka Joe Shiesty. Uh, yeah, Joe Shiesty. I don't know about that one. All right, so I got we wrapped up our picks. I'll probably take the lead again this
Yes.
week with a perfect week.
I
Uh,
don't
I'm,
think you will. I think you picked the Chargers over the Chiefs. That was a
no,
wrong
the
pick.
Chiefs are trash. We all know they're trash.
They're 11 and
They're
1
11-1
trash.
I know. They keep winning, and they have to be exposed eventually.
Yeah, maybe or not.
I know. I know.
Or
I know.
not.
I'm aware of who they are. I know what happens when you pick against them. I'm very aware.
Mhm.
Oh shoot! I wasn't paying attention at the time. Crud. Oh no,
What?
my kid texted me to do something 40 minutes ago, and I forgot. I was probably complaining about the Bears.
Probably at
So
that time.
I was trying to listen to the Pittsburgh's radio broadcast of the Pittsburgh and the Bengals game. I do not know who their announcers are. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Heinz Ward's not one of them.
I do not know. I do not know. Pittsburgh Steelers radio team. I don't know which one is which. Bill Hallgrove and somebody Wolfie. Where did I miss it? Craig Wolfley. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know which one's which. It doesn't matter. I had to turn it off because the one guy, the color commentator, not play-by-play guy, the color guy, who is usually like an ex-player sort of thing, right?
Yeah, we got Carl Banks and Big Bob Papa,
They,
the Giants.
he was loud. Well, he was a screamer, right?
Wow,
He's a screamer that would say things like "slobber knocker."
Oh, okay.
Slobber
I'm a
knocker.
fan of that
His
already.
catchprise on a big hit
Oh, no,
was
he's got a catchphrase.
that's
Whammo.
that's some deceleration trauma right there.
Okay,
And
like a concussion. Is that?
like he heard that phrase. Somebody said that when talking about CTE,
A car accident or a car accident.
Like, oh, I'm going to use that
Yes.
in the booth. That's a winner right there. Deceleration trauma. And then he also said this about Chase Brown. He's as slippery as snot on a doorknob. Now, I understand he's a color commentator, and
You got to paint a
there's
picture.
there's nothing.
Paint a picture.
It's not like a regional thing, right? Like that's not like that's just that's how they talk in Pittsburgh. No, right? This is a guy trying very hard to be
An old
that
school
old
announcer.
school goofball
That's
color
it.
guy, right? Like the football version of like Hawk Harrelson or like Harry Carey sort of thing. Like it just played off as very obnoxious, and I had to turn off the game. So if you're a Steelers fan and you hear this, I'm sorry, but it was very difficult to listen to.
Oh, who'd you say? Bill
Bill
Hillgrove.
Hillgrove and Craig Wolfley. I don't know which one is which.
Bill Hillgrove is oldest there.
That's
from this
oh,
picture.
I just saw the picture. He's the one that said slobber knocker, slippery as snot in a
He is
doorknob,
old.
and says deceleration trauma.
And I can't find the other one, Craig Wolfley picture.
I just moused over his name on Wikipedia.
There he
He's a
goes.
bald guy. With,
Okay, he looks like a former player. position guard tackle, played for the Steelers from 1980 to 1989. So
So
yes.
William
Oh.
Thomas Hillgrove is an American sports broadcaster, radio personality, and sports journalist. It's got to be him. He looks
He looks like someone who would say
about
Schlabberknocker.
anything.
He just
This steak dinner's a real slobber knocker. Come on, man. Like,
Man.
I'm sure it's beloved. I listen to it. I'm just like, man, oh man. I want to like you Steelers, but this one's tough. This one's tough.
The honoring Bill Hargrove for 3 decades is the voice. He's been
He's
around
been
for a
saying
while.
that for. I know he's been saying deceleration trauma for 3 decades. What if it's not him? What if it's Craig Wolfley that's saying this garbage?
Does he sound like he's young? Slobberknocker is definitely
no, I don't know, man. Like
but Craig would be the color commentator.
he's the color.
Bill would be the
Craig is the
announcer.
color commentator.
He would be, yeah. That's what they normally would have as the football guy.
Oh my
The
god.
the football guy is usually the color, and the
Who
other
is
guy
the
is the
Steelers radio color commentator. Oh no, it's Craig Wolfley.
yeah. It would be Craig. Bill would be the play-by-play
Craig
guy.
Wolfley, really? You're saying these things? God. Granted, he was born in the 50s, late 50s at least. He got to see the sexual revolution of the while he was turning pubescent. So I got that going for him. But like, come on, Slobberknocker, what are we doing here? Come on.
He's 66 years old, man.
Yeah, but their guy looks like he says Slobberknocker in his sleep. Craig Wolfley,
He's, oh, Slobberknocker. Slobberknocker.
I don't know, man.
Big barn Slobberknocker and barn burner go hand in hand.
Barburner was never said. Slobberknocker was, and
So
the deceleration trauma was said many times, and I had
he loves
yeah,
that one.
turn that off. Oh boy. Oh, I wanted to get your opinion last week because it's kind of old news now, but it's still going on. What's your thoughts on? Oh, we got two things we can end on here. We'll go with this one first. Drake filing lawsuits versus Kendrick Lamar, saying, and the record label saying that.
There was nothing that says I lost.
Yes.
In filing a lawsuit.
Yes.
It is a white flag. It is the white flag.
I
But as Kendrick, I take it as another like insult. I'm going to
yes,
keep
he's just
going
doing another
harder.
song.
It's like he made a whole
I know.
album again. I don't know. The new
It
album
dropped
is
like
crazy.
a day after the lawsuits were filed.
It's kind of crazy. It's bad. It's a bad look. It's a very bad look for Drake. He even on one of the diss tracks, he even insinuates that that Kendrick did that to him. Told one of the record labels not to play. Like on one of the diss track, he insinuates that, and then to go and do it is just like, this is bad. You just give up.
That's funny. I don't listen to Drake at all. I couldn't pick out. I bet you if you said this is Drake's song, I go, oh, I know that one. But beyond that,
Mm-hmm.
so then also this is a baseball thing. I don't know if you saw this. Baseball is floating around this idea for a rule for the golden at bat. Have you heard this? Okay, so
No.
baseball is struggling in sports markets. They're losing to the NFL and the NBA. Not because they black out their games or they make it impossible to watch them on television, but because they don't think the game's exciting enough. So they want to incorporate this, which is about the equivalent of hanging a pinata from center field, and whichever team breaks it first gets. It's like it's a bit of Harry Potter-ish, right? Like you score all the points, but if you get the golden snitch, you win, right? So,
oh no,
it's the golden at bat. Once per game, a team can use their best hitter to hit in any situation, regardless of their position in the lineup. So if you have the bases loaded and you're down 2 or 3, then there's 2 outs and your number 9 hitter comes up, you can say, bring in Sluggo McGee, our number 3 hitter, to take this at bat and then still get your at bat at number 3.
It's dumb.
Thank,
It's
thank you.
dumb.
But that
It's rock and
it
jock
is, yes,
baseball. Is that what we're
yes.
doing?
They're like
Line up,
trying
be
to video
damned.
gamify baseball. They already have the rule where you get to take second base to start off the extra innings.
I like that.
I don't know.
I like that rule.
But
I like that.
I like the pitch clock. It makes sense.
I like the pitch
But
clock.
this golden, and they call it the golden at bat, and they're like, oh, people are really taking to it. No one's taking to it. No one's taking to it.
No,
Kids will laugh at you.
it's dumb. It's dumb. Give the kids that are watching the game still. But not as dumb as the Dodgers getting Snell.
Yeah. I know.
Come on, man. Something has to be done. Something has to be done. Do you want to change a rule? Let's change this deferred payment plan on
Yes.
players and let a real cap take into
Yes.
consideration. Because this is
If you're not
ridiculous.
going to do a salary cap, at least do a spending floor where teams have to spend money, because you have like teams last year that with like an $11 million salary for the team, out there playing.
Hmm.
Just
Just don't make the just don't have the Dodgers paying what's the name till
yes,
2064. And while his playing years are playing, he's making
yes,
$700,000 a year. That's
yeah,
cheating. I'm sorry. That's
I
that's
agree.
cheating in my opinion. And then to go and get the Cy Young Award winning just because you can, and they're still in the running for Juan
Yeah,
Soto. This is
yeah, agreed.
ridiculous.
Yeah, and the thing is, any team can spend that money. They just don't.
They can. It's like the pinstripes don't do it for
No.
people anymore. LA
Yeah.
does. Cali still has that
Padres spend that
appeal.
money, and the Padres have
Padres
been
spin
leading
it
the
in
league in
the
attendance last like 4 or 5 years. They're real good, but they haven't
so
won
you can get
anything.
the
But they've been, people liked them.
hmm yeah, no, this they're gonna do it. You can get it in Cali. The middle of the country, you're not gonna be able to spend. I'm sorry,
No,
Chicago.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm under no illusions that the White Sox will spend any money,
Yeah, I didn't actually mean y'all, but I
or the
kind of
Cubs.
meant that other team.
Cubs are happy being middle of the road and then having a lightning in a bottle
Yeah,
year. Dodgers want to win every year.
every year. And I'm not
No,
mad at it.
I mean, if it's within the rules, it's like getting Derrick Henry alongside
I
Lamar
just don't
Jackson.
like the rules.
Yeah,
I
no, the
just
rules
don't
suck.
like the rules.
Those rules suck.
Screw your golden bat
Yes,
rule, and then let's do something about what's going on in
yes.
LA.
Yeah. It's just, it's all terrible. And
Hmm.
you know me. I used to love baseball. That was my
Oh yeah,
like. I just don't care anymore. I really don't care.
is part of that
Oh, that helped. That
the
helps.
White
That
Sox.
helps my not caring. But I just don't care. It's hard. It's hard to care. It's hard to want to follow. Like, I don't know. I don't even know the new young and up and coming guys. Like, I have no idea who's good. I couldn't even tell you. Like, I remember you get all excited about the Mets, and we got this guy, and this guy's doing this. I'm like, I don't know who that is. I don't care. Oh well.
It- yeah. You know some of them dudes with the Reds.
Oh, Ellie
He's
De La
damn
Cruz. Yeah,
good.
I like him. I
He's
like
damn
Shohei Ohtani.
good.
Right? Like I heard of that guy. He's really good. Uh, Beyond that, I don't know.
The Snell,
Yeah.
this
Well, Snell's
rookie,
been around for a long time, and he's been very good
yeah,
for his entire career. Uh,
the rookie for the Pirates,
oh yeah,
the
Skeens.
pitcher.
Yeah, he's pretty good too. But those are
Yeah,
guys that are
he's
just like
really good.
amazing. So they get
And yeah, in your
yes,
face good. But it's the ones that may not be 60 home. They don't stats stuff the stats, but they're good players,
yeah.
everyday players.
So that's
Hmm.
the difference between like baseball and like football and basketball. The guys that are good, but they're not superstars, everybody knows them still. The people that follow the sport know them.
Hmm.
Like there's the average person is not going to be able to name 3 receivers deep on like the Rams. Like nobody cares.
That's
That's
not
not their
their
team, right?
team.
But like most people, I don't want to say most people, but there are people that want to know that, and like it's easy to know it because those guys are out there front and center, and people talk about them and all kind of stuff. Baseball,
You see him 3 games back to
yeah,
back usually. So if they're playing your team and you really
yep,
follow the game, you're seeing that
yep.
same player 3 times.
I mean, football
Yeah.
does a good job of there's the season, and then as soon as the season is over, oh, there's all the off season.
Hype
So
up the next
then we
season.
have
Yeah, hype up.
there's never a month where there's not football events happening, right? So then you get the
Hmm.
combine, okay, cool. Then you get free agency the next month, cool. Then you get the draft the next month, cool. Then you get mini camp
Mini
the next,
camp,
like just
OTAs.
everything just constantly, and all these guys are just constantly driven home. Like these guys. Like I shouldn't know Alex Leatherwood was a busted draft pick from 5 years ago from the Raiders, picked at like probably like 8 or 9 when they should never have been picked in the first 3 rounds, right? Like I shouldn't know that, but I do. I used to know that about baseball, but then baseball just doesn't do a good job of telling you about their people. They're terrible at it, and they make it so hard to watch the game. Go away, baseball. Make way for a new baseball, one with golden at bats.
What we've all been
Yeah,
wanting.
and then oh, every team once a game can send another player from the other opposite team to the golden shower.
Oh no!
They're out of the game. They got sent to the
Oh
golden showers.
no! Oh no!
Or there's only one golden shower available, and one of the teams has to use it first, right? Like so, you get to eliminate one player from the other team. So
The Golden
yeah,
Shower? Oh no! Shohei
I
Ohtani
know
would get
he
tired of
would.
Pete
He'd have
getting
no
on
stats.
all.
It's like as soon as the game starts. But I mean, let's adopt it. It's like, what are you gonna do?
To the shower.
Do you send Shoei to the golden showers? Do you send Mookie Betts to the golden showers?
Bets?
Do you send any of their starting lineup to the golden showers? Right? It's tough.
Freeman. There's good. They got
Yes, there's
options.
lots of people you could send to the golden shower there. Then you got team. What?
But if you send Otani, if he's pitching, you got to get a new pitcher too.
Oh yeah, you can only send one position to the golden shower. So
Oh, so he should just ain't bat
yes,
no more. He just comes out drenched. Because I'm not thinking of it as a figurative golden shower. It's definitely a literal one. He's got, oh god, they got me. Like he got
it's the
slime
worst
back
rule
there.
in baseball. Yeah, they put on the jumbotron, just stand there with a sad face and just golden shower hitting you on. Yep, it's like just like getting slimed.
And then he has to come back down and pitch because they.
But if you're a guy like Moises Alou, remember Moises Alou? That was his hand treatment. He used to piss on his hands.
Oh no, I
Yes,
didn't know
he,
that.
he used to he used to pee on his hands to keep his skin leathery tough or something like that. I don't remember what it was. Moises Alou.
He didn't even need chalk
Yeah.
anymore. Just
Yep. Good old Alou.
batting gloves. Not no need that. Keep your hands like
Yeah.
leather. You don't need the
Yep.
batting
That's why I
gloves.
piss on my hands.
It's like yeah, it
Makes
works.
sense.
Works. Keeps tight. I see.
All right.
Quinn Johnson needs to do that. Is
You know, his hands are already